Evening all. It's live chat 149 here on Brooks's Bass Corner. It's Saturday evening, not Sunday. It's 6 o'clock. Hope you're well. Hope your bass playing's going great. We're broadcasting from London here in the UK. Hope you're all good. Hope everything is going well wherever you are. It's Saturday night. I really should be out gigging, but there's just no gigs around at the moment. It's a bit crazy here in the UK. Gigs are very light at the moment, but we soldier on. The channel's going from strength to strength. We passed 1.3 million views about 3 days ago. So thank you very much to all you fine people out there in YouTube land. Can't do it without you. I create the content. It's down to you guys to watch it. So thank you very much. Been watching the videos of late. Excellent stuff. Beat after beat. Good to see you. I was watching a load of your videos the other day. Gareth Harrison, good to see you. Didn't we do well this afternoon? Zoomer, here he is. Party time. Every day's party time in Zoom as well. You've only just got up. You're probably still eating your breakfast in your gym jams. That's a thought. An image I need to erase from my mind. I can't be thinking like that. Stacey, good to see you. Evening here now, 6 o'clock, isn't it? Anyway, hope you're all good. Hope you're all safe and well. If you're first time visit here on Brooks's Bass Corner live chat, come on in. You're very welcome. Good to see you. We're talking basses, bass guitars, bass amps, effects, cleaning products, strings, gig bags, cases, great bass players, albums with great bass playing on, bass magazines, if that's something you'd like to talk about. There is a topic which is running through tonight's live chat. If you want to talk about it, which bass skills would you like to improve by the end of the year? What elements of your playing just don't come up to scratch? What would you like to try and improve in your particular playing? I'm not talking about me. I know where my failings are. Don't worry about that. But I want to know what you guys want to try and improve. Maybe it's your sight reading, maybe it's learning songs by ear, maybe it's your playing technique, maybe your slap technique, learning scales. Maybe it's something like working on your instruments, so you don't have to take it to a shop or a luthier or whatever when things need fixing. Is it, more workshop stuff? Would that help you? Using effects, maybe mixing, using particular pedals, maybe using compression, something like that. Put your comments, questions, anything you'd like to ask in the live chat window. So if you're on the mobile app, live chat window is directly below. If you're on the desktop version, it's that way. I can see the live chat window there perfectly. At the very bottom, there's a rectangle. It says, well, for me, it says post a comment. But for you guys, it might say chat, might say comment. I don't know. Put your cursor in there. Type your question or comment, press send. It appears here in the live chat window. Then I can respond to it. If I don't know the answer, one of the fine people here probably will. So we'll try and help you as much as we can. That's the way this all works. Next to the chat box where you put your question and comment, you'll see an emoji icon. Feel free to give that an absolute pummeling, please. It helps to project the video, the live chat, and the channel through the YouTube algorithm. People go, how does that work? I don't know. The fact that you interact with the live chat via emojis sends signals to the YouTube algorithm. On that basis, if it sees loads of emojis, it thinks, oh, people are enjoying this live chat. We'll push it out to more viewers. Then we get more bass players watching. Then we have more knowledge, more expertise to call on. That's how that works. Next to that, you're going to see a rectangle with a dollar symbol in. That's called Super Chat, which exists when we're doing the live chats like this every Sunday, but today's a Saturday. Allows you to make a financial contribution to the channel if you wish to do so. You don't have to. The videos are free to watch. The live chats are free to get involved with. But if you want to help the channel, the idea, the premise of this channel is that we will keep going for 20, 25 years until I'm a very old man, and we will be talking bass. That's how this all works. But everything you see, the lights, the cameras, the mic stands, the microphones, the cables, the cameras, tripods, all the bits and bobs, chargers, the lot, the basses, the stands, the effects, the amplification, the wall of amplification. You can't see it all on this camera, but believe me, there's a whole wall of it there. Loads of it. Amps, cabinets, the lot. I pay for all that. So if you want to help the channel, Super Chat is there. Next to the emoji icon, there's also the super thanks facility that exists on the icons row below the video window. So where that is, underneath this video, which is the video window, you'll see a thumbs up and a thumbs down. Please give the live chat a thumbs up. It's the most important thing you can do for any piece of content you see on YouTube. It is so important. I bang on about it every week. We get hundreds, sometimes thousands of views on these live chats, and yet the thumbs up barely scrapes 40 or 50 every week. I know I nag on about it, but for the sake of something that costs you nothing to do, is literally a tap on your mouse or a tap on your phone screen or a tap on your tablet screen. That thumbs up just changes everything for me, for the channel, for the video. So please give it a thumbs up. If you're going to be pedantic and you're going to give it a thumbs down, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But please leave a comment in the comments section. I don't mean in the live chat. I mean the comments section of the video, and tell me what you don't like, because I can't make the live chats better if I don't know what the problem is. Next to that, you'll see a share arrow, so you can share this video out to email, websites, and social media. There's a watch later icon, so you can save the video to watch at a later date. And then next to that, you should see the love heart with a dollar symbol in, which is the super thanks option. Again, allows you to contribute to the channel if you wish to do so. You don't have to. The videos are free to watch. The channel is free to get involved with, but it helps me, helps the channel, helps the videos, pays for all the things you see, pays for the vidIQ subscription, all the bits and bobs, and getting the merchandise, so the caps and the t-shirts and all of that stuff. It all gets fed back into the channel. So it's not like I'm a share owner and I take all these huge payments out of the channel. There aren't huge payments to take out of the channel, but all the little donations, all the merch sales, the affiliate sales, all that stuff gets plowed back in. So better cameras, better audio interfaces, buying the gear that you see here on the videos, paying for the strings that go on the basses that are in the videos that you watch. So that's how all that works. Underneath the icons row, you will find description box, and in there you're going to find timestamps. It won't be tomorrow because I'll be celebrating my mum's 70th birthday tomorrow. So it will be on Monday. I will do all the timestamps. They will be there, allows you to jump through the video, through all the different topics and questions that we talk about tonight. After that, you will find Brooks's Bass Corner merch links. So the caps, the hoodies, the mouse mats, t-shirts, leisure wear, cases, phone cases, iPad cases, mouse mats, the whole lot. We've got 170 items, currently 20% off on all Brooks's Bass Corner merch through Spreadshirt and Spreadshop. We have a UK and Europe store, and there's a US and worldwide store. So if there's anything that you've been holding off on, you thought, oh, I'd like to get some of Mike's merch, helps the channel. We get a kickback. We don't get the whole price of what you buy. We get a percentage. I don't print it. It's printed by Spreadshirt. But anyway, the links are in the description box. There's 15 different designs, 170 odd items. Check it out. There's just so much stuff on there. I can't tell you everything that's on there. It changes all the time anyway. There's 20% off until midnight tomorrow night. So if you're thinking of helping the channel or buying some merch, check it out in the description box right now. After that, you'll find affiliate links for the Bass Center here in the UK, Top Cashback and vidIQ. And after that, you'll find affiliate links for Thomann and Amazon. So if you've got any bass related purchases, maybe strings, maybe leads, pedals, cases, gig bags, a new bass, amplifier, combo, speaker cabinet, effects pedals, there are links there for Amazon and Thomann. The way all that works is if you go through with a purchase, pay for your product, it gets shipped to you. The channel gets a very small affiliate commission for selling that product. I've literally just provided you a link. Now, there is all sorts in those stores. So we have a Brooks's Bass Corner Amazon store, and there's a Brooks's Bass Corner Thomann store. In the Amazon store, you'll find there's t-shirts, there's books, there's albums, CDs, music DVDs, and all the bass stuff, everything. So like I say, if you're thinking about a new pedal or some strings or a gig bag or what have you, you can find those in the Brooks's Bass Corner Amazon store. And like I say, there's a Thomann version as well. Find the products, go through the sale. We then get an affiliate commission from those retailers. That's how it works. Helps to keep the channel moving. It, how did I put it once? It lubricates the wheels of progress. That's pretty much it. So then after the affiliate links, you'll find social media links, and we're on Facebook, Instagram, Be Real, Reddit, Quora, Discord, and TikTok. Here we go. Right, into the comments. Let's see what we got here. Let's see who we've got here. Right, so we have beat after beat. We have Gareth Harrison. We have Zuma. We have lovely Stacey. This everyone's saying hello to each other. Zuma would like to improve his dumble thumbing, although you're never going to use it on a gig. I promise you. There are some players that do. I've heard people do it in covers bands, and the mix of the sound has been so bad. They've been doing the double thumbing, and it just sounded like a dirge. But if that's something you want to try and improve, then that's very good. Something, isn't it? Using your thumb like a pick. I know. How's that next Duran Duran video editing going on? Beat after beat, just put up some Culture Club and Duran Duran 10-second music videos. Very good, sir. Gareth, do you have any tips on using an active bass compared to a passive one? As you're aware, I've just bought an active bass. Yes, you have. And very nice it is too, which you're trying to get your head around. Yeah, I'll discuss that in a second. Alexa, hi, good to see you. There's Stacey saying a load of beat after beat. Your Dire Straits Money for Nothing video got over 1,200 views and 17 likes. Well, that's all right, isn't it? That's good. Alexa, do people think 5-string basses generally sound better if they're longer scale? Depends on the tone you're after. With my professional head on, despite the Music Man Stingray being an industry standard and having been exceptionally popular for many, many years, I still think the 5 strings I've got that have either a 35-inch scale or longer on the low B string have a better low B string performance. So I've got a GB Rumor 5, which is 35-inch scale. I've got a Lakeland 5502, which has a 35-inch scale. And then I've got a Dingwall NG2, which has a 37-inch scale on the low B. Personally, it depends on the tone you're after, but it depends how you incorporate the notes on the low B string into what you do. But having said that, a bass like the GB or the Lakeland, which is 35-inch scale, that scale length affects all the other strings as well. So certainly on the GB, the general tension on the strings is a bit more. There's less suppleness. They're a bit stiffer. But I think it does improve the tone over the whole instrument. There's something to be said for a 35-inch scale in terms of what it does to the tone. But then there's also there's been that discussion for decades about having strings strung through the body of a bass rather than through a bridge, and that can increase the scale length. But it doesn't. What it does is it increases the speaking length of the string. It's not increasing the scale length, it's the speaking length. The scale length only applies from the point the string passes over the saddle to the point it passes through the nut. Yeah. So if you are stringing strings through the body, and many Lakeland owners had problems stringing low B strings through the body rather than through the bridge and getting a string that was long enough. It was a real problem about 20, 30 years ago. That string scale length is still only from the point it passes over the bridge and passes through the nut. Nothing to do with the anchoring point at the machine heads and the anchoring point of the string at the back of the body. Although I have had basses which have the same model by a manufacturer and had the string strung through the bridge, and then another model with the string strung through the body. I couldn't hear any difference. Call me old-fashioned, but I couldn't physically hear any difference. If I'd been able to wire it up to an oscilloscope and check the frequencies, you might have seen something on the screen, but to my ears, I couldn't hear any difference. Same brand of strings, same string gauge, I didn't hear any difference. Some people say the through body stringing is to improve how the string feels to the player. Maybe. I didn't notice too much difference, to be brutally honest, but there we go. But it does depend on the tone you want from your bass. But also, if you're not particularly long-armed For example, if you're not Mr. Tickle, then having a 35-inch scale length or longer on your bass might not physically work for you. People of a slightly smaller dimensions and limited arm length might not even be possible. See, there are people who have 5-string short scale basses, and that just works for them. If they're happy with that, it's all good. It's all good. So take from that what you will. Stacey saying, happy early birthday to my mum. Yeah. Mum's probably watching, although I don't know if she is. We did talk earlier on. She may be unaware, even though I did tell her we're doing a live chat tonight. She may have completely forgotten that we're doing live chat. She may pop up. You never know. Thank you, beat after beat. I will pass all these birthday wishes on to her when I see her tomorrow. Zuma, you want to be like Vail Johnson, don't we all? In terms of our bass playing. I don't want to be like Vail Johnson in terms of his political ramblings, but yes, Midnight Motion, I know what you're saying, still blows my mind. Does mine. I've watched it a few times recently because I sent it to Leo Westfort here on the live chats, and I'd forgotten quite how good certainly that performance at the what do you call it, where boats are moored, harbor sort of thing, on the quayside gig that they do from is it Malibu? It might be. I can't remember. Anyway, there is a video. There's videos of it online anyway, but you can check it out on YouTube. In fact, let me just get a link for it, and rather than me trying to describe it, just put a link up there for people to see it. Bear with me a moment, folks. Right, that's Kenny G. Vail Johnson live 89. I bought it on VHS in 92. Here we go, folks. This is what we're talking about. Oh, actually, that's just the solo. Now you need the whole tune to get you in the mood for the rest of the song. There we go. 8 minutes worth, isn't it? Much better. Give me a moment. I just need to share that. Get the link. Here we go. Right, I can share that with you. So this is what we're talking about. Vail Johnson of Kenny G's band playing a Kabiki Factor back in 1989. Get your laughing gear around that. Okay, Alexa, I don't play in a church band. However, I love that deep gospel hi-fi type of bass sound that I sometimes hear on YouTube. You're probably looking, I mean, there is no one size fits all for the gospel bands. A lot of them, though, insist on a 5-string jazz with 2 single coil pickups. So you can get jazzes with 34-inch scale. You can get jazzes with 35-inch scale. Obviously, if you're having a custom-made bass, you can have any scale length you want. So, but the sound you're probably referring to, that a lot of gospel players kind of insist on, is a jazz bass type sound with a fairly, what are we saying, fairly standard jazz tone. Jazz bass tone, not talking musical style tone here. But yeah, so check some of that out. Maybe go on. In fact, there's a really good video. Let me get this for you. This is a comparison that Aguilar did a number of years ago. And this is basically demoing their range of jazz bass pickups on the same bass by the same player. So they clearly had someone who was fitting and replacing the pickups. You're probably going to hear some gospel type bass sounds, although they're not playing gospel tunes, of course, in this. So this will give you an idea. So if these are the types of sound you were interested in, you know you need to get a bass that has 2 single coil pickups. Check that out. Stacey, not Mr. Tickle. Yes, the very same. Here we go, Michael Anthony. God, we'll be giving you loyalty points soon. You're just a couple of weeks on the trot. Fabulous. Good to see you. Electric Lowen, hello. Coming to say a quick hello. You're still recovering from the surgery and don't want to strain the left eye too much. I sound great on audio. I have a face for audio, so you can listen without watching. Try that. Getting your right eye done next month. Oh, well, best wishes. I hope all that surgery has gone well. So you take care. Look after yourself. Zuma, you had it on cassette. Yeah, do you know what? My sister loved Kenny G at that point. I bought her the live album of that gig. In fact, I need to borrow that off her. I need to borrow that off her. Well, thank you for reminding me. Michael Anthony, Ledger Loan. Sorry you're having to go through that. The idea of having your eyes cut on freaks me out. My mum's going through it all as well at the moment. So, Zuma, MTD as well for gospel. Yes, yes, all of that. This is what I'm saying. There is no one size fits all for gospel bands, but so many of them have bass players that play generally five-string jazzes or basses built around that design. So you're generally looking at two single coil pickups. But that doesn't mean every gospel bass player goes with that. Not all of them do. Zuma, look up Fred Hammond. There we go. Good advice. Literally low. And if I don't answer any questions, it's because I can't read well at the moment. Vision is blurry. Just sit back, enjoy. I'll try and keep you entertained for the next couple of hours. Okay. Get a drink, bit of cake. Listen up. It's all good. Alexa, that's what we're here for. You give me questions, I'll answer them as best I can. That's how this all works. So, for anyone who's been watching the site, maybe you popped in from Bass Chat. In fact, I'm going to put a little post up on Bass Chat. Let's see if we can draw them in a little, shall we? Let's see. All of that. Yeah, because they were talking about this because my friend Sean realized I put this video up and he promoted it on Bass Chat, bless his heart, and it's created a whole conversation. Uh, currently, oh, yeah, broadcasting live. Just put that in. Put that in. They may join us or they may not. If you're coming over from Bass Chat, maybe you're watching this afterwards on catch up, feel free. Good to have you along. Feel free to post in questions, comments, what have you. The only thing we don't do, politics, religion. If you come onto the live chat, whether it's on vertical mode or horizontal mode, and you're rude, sweary, aggressive, or want to be a bully, you're gone. You don't get more than one comment. So that's the rules here. And we run a tight ship. Leslie Mason, good to see you. Looking at improving your movement and understanding the movement around the fretboard. Okay, generally need to improve your dexterity. Any cheat codes or ideas? Yes, lots, lots. They don't always work, and generally, what happens is if you don't incorporate them into regular practice, you can learn them and then forget them, and that's generally what happens. And then a year later, you think, "Hang on, I did that, and I seem to be back where I was a year ago." A lot of the stuff A lot of the theory stuff, a lot of the motor, you know, thinking in your brain, that's what I need my hands to do. You have to keep refreshing it. You have to keep going over it. It's like anything. It's like being at school and learning a subject when you're at school. You can read something and think, "Yeah, right, okay, I understand that." 6 months later, you get asked a question about it and you can't remember it because you haven't had to use it. It may well be in there. You just can't remember what the access code is to get to that box that's got that information. So improving your movement understanding and movement around the fretboard, generally to improve dexterity. There's that old exercise which never kind of fails, which is pick a note on the fingerboard and play every instance of it. And a really good test, you play it without a metronome or a rhythm box or whatever. Just play it and think, "Right, okay, so if I'm gonna play an if I'm gonna play an F, you're gonna go 1st fret on the E string, you're gonna go 13th fret on the E string, you're then gonna go to the 8th fret on the A string, and you do it. Then start doing it to metronome. So the beat might be relatively slow, say something like around 70, 75 BPM, and then speed it up. And then eventually you're getting into the hundreds, 110s, 120s, 130s. And if you can then start to do quite quick and then again move on to the next note and start again. And doing that sort of thing is very tedious. All of this theory stuff gets to be really tedious. But if you do it enough and you apply yourself, It does help. It's a motor thing, it's a knowledge thing, but it's getting your brain to think of what you need to do and then getting these to do it. So if you can reiterate that, it was an exercise I used to do literally, like, every 2 or 3 days. I'd spend half an hour doing that. So I'd pick a note, G sharp, right, okay, play every instance of that across the whole bass. Do it without, uh, rhythm guidance, and then start a click on the metronome. You do it on your mobile phone if you've got a metronome app, and like I say, you just start slowly, and you do it, and then you start speeding it up, and suddenly you're skipping across strings and notes, and it starts to speed up. It does work, but it's the sort of thing that you do it and then stop it for a period of, like, 6 months to a year. You basically go back to the start point, but that's something that works fine for me. Um Also to improve in speed and dexterity. Do you know what actually trips a lot of players up when it comes to moving across strings is actually their playing hand, position. So, for a lot of us, when we start out, we put our thumb on a pickup and we kind of leave our thumb anchored there and we play the strings, move across the strings as we do. I can't tell you how liberating it is once you get rid of that and you then start to move across the strings in a floating, position. So take your thumb away and just play with your fingers and float across the strings. And once you kind of get that concept in your head, you can then start to use it, reintroduce your thumb into where you're placing it before you play a string, but use it as a dampening instrument on the string. So if you're playing the A string, then put your thumb on the E string and it damps it. So if you play the A string and then your thumb comes past the A string once you've played it and hits the E, you're not gonna get a mess of sound or harmonic or resonance because your thumb is muting it. Trying to think if I could get a bass not that high, I probably can't. But the concept is as you move across the strings, you move your thumb, so you're not anchored on the top of a pickup. You you aren't anchored at all, but you use your thumb as a guide across the different strings. So if you suddenly had to go and play, say you were doing a rundown across, G, D, A, and E strings, as you drop down the strings, your thumb goes to the string above. But either way, you're using that thumb as a dampening instrument. So it's cleaning up your bass signal without lots of extra string noise and clutter in the signal. That's what I do. But once you can do that and you do it without even thinking, someone showed me it years ago, like in the '90s, and I remember sitting there working on it a lot over a period of about 2 or 3 months. And once I then started integrating it into rehearsals and doing gigs, what have you, it becomes second nature. I do it now. And I know some, bass players, they see me in shops or whatever and go, "Why is your thumb moving across the strings? It's dampening the strings." I'm not anchored. I and also not anchoring your thumb stops you creating strain injuries across your hands and your fingers because you don't have that long reach because you're trying to accommodate your thumb being anchored on the pickup. You move it across the strings, you find you get less fatigue in your hands because you don't have these long stretches, especially if you're playing like a 5 or a 6. You see these players anchor their thumb and literally their hand is doing that all the time. It's great for the fingers and the joints, but, if you move the thumb across, like I say, use it to dampen the string above the one you're playing. Kind of works. Works for me. Try it. If you watch any of the demo or review videos when I'm playing, you'll see me do it. My thumb is sort of constantly moving across the strings, and yeah, works for me anyway. Thank you for that suggestion, Leslie. I will incorporate that possibly into some, videos here on the channel about how to improve, fretboard understanding and movement. Good one. If you want to ask me anything on what I've just said, feel free. Zuma, specifically, I Want My Destiny by Fred Hammond. About gospel players. Fabulous bass tone. Gotcha. Gareth, it's all about repetition. And learning skills that you put into practice. No point learning skills, which comes back to the point I've made very many times, which is being a good slap bass player. It's great, and it's a good tool to have in your arsenal, but doing that alone is not gonna make you a great bass player, and as I've said before, in my younger years, I spent hours, days, weeks, months, and years trying to improve my slap playing. In 31 years of being a professional bass player, slap playing has probably made up about 3% of my playing time, if that. The rest of it's all been fingerstyle, thumbs, like that, or pick playing. Slap playing, literally about 3% if I added it all up. So, yeah, because the thing about the repetition, you can do all the slap stuff and do it and do it and do it. You don't use it, you lose a lot of that manual dexterity. So again, if you're learning a skill and don't put it into practice, you come back to it a year later and think, "God, I put all that time and effort into doing that. I've not used it." So pick what you learn and pick the skills, techniques that you need quickly and that you're gonna use a lot. Make those your, priority, especially when if you're at the start of a year, and people have, New Year resolutions about improving their technique and improving their learning and all that sort of thing. That's great, very honourable, but when you're sitting there creating your list of things you want to improve, address what if you're a working bass player especially, uh, address what is coming up in your diary for the next 6 months and work on that because that's the stuff before you know it, it's there in front of you. So while you have the time now in the quiet months, think my sight reading's not great, or my pick playing isn't great, or maybe I could improve the consistency of volume and tone when I'm playing fingerstyle. Trying to get an equal volume no matter which string you're using. Those are all things you can work on now while, gigs are quiet, people aren't so busy, you haven't got the frantic nature of what it's like during the summer and at Christmas when gigs are just flying at you left, right, and centre. What you haven't got if you haven't got a lot to work on at the moment, those are the things I certainly would work on. It's like before this live chat, I pulled a bass out of the gig bag. I haven't played a bass probably for about 2 weeks, and, I thought, "You know what? I wanna sit, I just wanna play," and I'm watching the TV. I don't have an amp, I'm not plugged into anything, and I'm just playing. I'm just getting physicality back in the fingers, building the calluses back up 'cause they're starting to go. So just play, and, you suddenly realise, "Oh, I've lost. Hmm, doing 16th notes. Is that quite am I on it?" You're not sure. So all those sort of things are the things you should work on in the quiet months. Gareth, when you learn something, repeat it using in a circle of fifths. That's a that's a good shout. Michael Anthony, great tool for learning the fretboard. Phil de Hove invented a brilliant app. How has he got on with that? Last time I checked in on that, it would have been October, November time. He had some there were constant issues. He was constantly tweaking it. Is it up and running now? Note finder. It randomly shows a note, and if you play the correct note, you get a point, and it then moves on to the next one. What we were talking about. I used it last night for about 30 minutes. I apply it to specific areas of the neck. Excellent. Have you got a oh, you can't send me a link. Email me a link, ripsyspacecorn@gmail.com. I'll post it up on the live chat. Leslie, for some strange reason, I've never anchored my thumb. Well, that's a very good habit. Don't anchor the thumb, and if you're already doing what I'm discussing there in terms of the floating thumb, then that's fabulous. 2, which is super important, folks, taming that extraneous noise is key. Mm. Amazing how many people don't even think about it, and then they hear players, not necessarily session players, but people who have to, for whatever reason, the projects they work on, have to have a very clean, refined, usable bass signal, and they suddenly go, "Oh, I don't sound like that. I've got string noise and fingers moving across the strings and da 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 da," and like extra resonance coming off the strings, and I didn't know about the floating thumb? Ah, floating thumb technique until someone showed me it, and I suddenly thought, "Oh, I need that." And I worked on it. I did it constantly, and then, like I say, this is 97, 98, 99. I worked on it. Every time we were in rehearsal, I'd make sure I'd cover my thumb up, and I just played my fingers. And then as I got used to that, I'd then reincorporate my thumb to move across the strings instead of anchoring it. 'Cause I used to got very lazy. I used to anchor it on a Kabiki pickup, and then on a Stingray pickup, which was you had 2 screws, top and one down near the G string, and on the E string, on that pickup, you could put your thumb right slap bang between the 2 screws. Many an old, Stingray with a worn out pickup casing where people used to anchor their thumbs. But, there's like also a little scared of a 5 string. Don't be scared of these things. There's no reason. There's a reason called low B string a thumb rest, because for a lot of people who have played 5 strings before, okay, that extra string seems a bit daunting. But once you get used to it, you realise, "Actually, I can learn D here instead of the D on the A string." It becomes second nature. It's a practice. All these things, it's practice. So if you spend 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at home, not gigging a 5 string, you're gonna get it under your hands. When you come to do the gig, all bets are off. You need to know how to use that low B. So you can either use it as a very expensive thumb or done your homework, you'll instantly be going, "Right, there's an E string, 5th fret, that E note on the 5th fret of the low B. There's a D on the 3rd fret. There's a C, 1st fret. The last note on that string is an open B." Uh, you're not the only person who's gone and played a big final note on a song on a low B string thinking it's an E. It's gone through the mix. I've seen it happen. Not sure I've done it. Not sure I've done that because I've always been aware on a 5, don't play that low B. Don't leave it as an open thinking it's an E. I'll always go for that 2nd string. That's where your low E is. But yeah, but no, don't be scared of a 5 string. Should you try one? Absolutely. You may love it, you may hate it. You won't know unless you try. But try one in a shop. Don't buy a 5 string and then find it's not. Go and try a whole bunch. Every 5 string is different. String spacing is different. Pickups, sound, scale length, tightness. Well, again, it's string spacing, how close all the strings are to each other. Some players like a broader neck with a larger string spacing. Some like a narrow string spacing. I don't know what your preference is. Certainly go and try a couple of 5 strings in a store, that will help you. Michael Anthony, I learned early on to not anchor my thumb, but I use floating thumb to mute unused strings. It's exactly what I'm saying. If you get a 5 string, put your 4 string in the closet and only play the 5 string for a year. See, that wouldn't work 'cause too many of the things I do need a 4, not a 5, and I can't use a 5 instead of the 4. It doesn't look right, it doesn't sound right. 5s don't sound the same as 4s. You've got more, neck and body material, pickups are different, it's active, circuits different, all those. LKJMNBVX, I don't know who you are. Oh, no, we certainly don't. You okay, where is he? We'll just bomb him out from here, shall we? Bye. Yeah, he's done, don't worry. Am I using a noise gate or something on your vocal mic? No, it seems to be ducking severely. I did notice this on the playback of last week's one. I was watching it to put the timestamps in, and there's something, I think, going on StreamYard. It's certainly not going on our internet connection because we are running out, let me tell you. I did notice this last week when I watched it back. Bear with me a moment. Let's just run the quick speed test. I'll tell you what we're running at. So we're downloading at when it fires in, there we go. We are downloading at, well, we should be paying 900 meg, and we're getting 3 edging up 400, close to 500, 589 meg download, uploading at 102. So I don't know why it's doing that, but no, there's no options turned on. Everything is turned off. There's nothing. Let me just check within the audio parameters on the let's go into settings. Let me just check. Oh, everything is good. Everything is good. Nothing turned on. I don't know what's going on there. Mike, sorry. Vocals are a little choppy. Well, again, I don't know. Cables are all in properly. Nothing's not working. I don't know, folks. All I can say is it's something at StreamYard or YouTube's end. It's certainly not me. Yeah, no, he's already gone. Don't worry about him, Michael Anthony. He's gone. Breaking up, I don't know. Most of the people you've seen locally use it as a thumb rest. There you go. You see, people get into this idea that they have to play 5-string. You don't. I rarely play 5-string. I've got 4 of them here in case I need them, but generally I don't use them. 4 is my preference, and the bulk of the work I do, 4-string is perfectly adequate, to be fair. So even in the disco band, which you would think would be totally suited to a 5-string, I don't use 5-string. The keyboard player does a load of low stuff, and there are some low bass parts on track when they're really sort of super sub synthy things. So yeah. Lewis, good to see you. Welcome. We SK3178. Hey, good to see you. I don't know who you are, but you're very welcome. We're talking bass guitars, bass amps, bass effects, great bass players, bass strings, cases, gig bags, cleaning stuff. Anything to do with bass guitars, you're in the right place, my friend. Lewis Wingrove, new pedal day. Are there any you don't have? I just got a Source Audio. Now we're talking Fractal Lo-Fi Glitch. I don't know that pedal. Is that what? Which Source Audio? Which Source Audio pedal? Chris Fallen Kitty. Hey, welcome. Sounds fine for you. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Leslie, I remember seeing Jerry Barnes from yep. Get on stage in a jam in Kensington pizza restaurant. Actually, take the B string off of the house bass player's side bass, so it's not just you. No, that's fair. Jerry's great. Bless him. Michael Anthony, congratulations on Source Audio Fractal. I've not seen the Fractal. Let's check this out. I'm a big fan of Source Audio. Is it a new pedal? Have I missed out on a release? I'll know as soon as I see it. Do you mean the Artifact? I can't see her. Do you mean the Artifact? Is that what you're talking about? Leslie, do you find it difficult change between 4 and 5? No? I just put in a little bit of practice. If I know I'm going to be using it, I'll run the set with it as much as I can. But no, if I had to do a gig, someone called me now and said, Mike, need you in centre of London, 2 hours, can you bring a 5-string? I'll just take it and play it. No. I haven't used a 5-string on a gig. Good Lord. And now we're asking. Probably for about 2.5 years, maybe. I was trying to incorporate it into the Decades of Dance show, and then it became clear that we didn't really need it. And it was just a case of bringing it along for vanity rather than actually useful. But no, I don't find it difficult to change between them, generally. Lewis, it was a better choice than the Walrus Audio Fable. Lewis, yes, the Artifact, thank you. Okay. Very good. Yes, a very clever pedal. I was trying to see if there was a way I could make use of one, and I don't think there is, but if you can, you go for it. But all the Source Audio stuff, love it. Absolutely love it. I've got about 6, hang on, Might be 7 now. Spectrum envelope filter, C4 synth, aftershock, ultrashock, Gemini chorus, Mercury flanger, and what was the other one I bought? I think it's 7. Can't remember what the other one. I think there's one more. But anyway, probably my favourite brand of pedals, if I'm honest. I think they're fabulous. And definitely connect it up to your PC, laptop, Mac, whatever you use, and get into the guts of it and see how all the different settings change. And you can download other players' profiles as well. Outstanding stuff. I love it. I love it. I wish I'd got into Source Audio a lot earlier. Would have made things a lot easier. Earlier this week, I uploaded a video to the channel. You may well have seen it. I'm just going to find it for you. Just bear me a moment. I uploaded a video that I was talking about on last week's live chat, which was an interview I did with Chris Childs. Although, to be fair, it's not really an interview. It's just two blokes chatting from the Bass Chat Southeast Bass Bash from back in November. And anyone who doesn't know who Chris is, one of the British session bass players, has had a very extensive career. He's into his 6th decade. And I thought, that can't be right. He's only like 65. But it's because he turned pro and started playing bass professionally in 1979. So he just got in the tail end of the 70s. 70s, 80s, 90s, noughties, 2010s, 2020s. It's not bad going. Anyway, I've put the link to the video there if you want to check it out. It's about 53 minutes, I think. So basically, we're in a room of bass players, and I'm interviewing him. And then we open the floor up to questions, and there's some great stuff in there. I'm very lucky because I've known Chris for, well, personally for 10 years. I did an interview with him for Bass Guitar Magazine back in 2016. I did an interview with him at the London Bass Guitar Show in 2018. We speak to each other reasonably constantly, see each other every now and again. So it's just a joy to natter to the man and talk about what he's been through in his career, things he's seen, things that have changed. There's a big section in that video about how recording has changed and how he's gone from turning up to audio album recordings with cabs and basses and now just turns up with a preamp, one bass, deals with everything through software and plugins, and that's it. It's an emulation. So there's loads of good stuff in there. Check it out. I know sometimes people put these videos up of bass players who are of a certain vintage, and people go, oh, you know, what can they possibly advise on? These are the people you need to listen to because they've been there, seen it and done it and come out the other end. They've seen all the changes, and sometimes just one little nugget in an interview can change your whole perspective on your bass playing and what you're trying to achieve, maybe with your career and what have you. It's a good watch. It is really, I know, I'm going to say that. I produced the video. But it is a good watch, and he's got lots of good stuff in there. So I highly advise checking it out. If you're a fan of Chris's playing, let me know. So Chris is known primarily as being the bass player for Thunder for the past 28, 29 years. He's the bass player in Taiketo. He's done hundreds of album sessions. He's on all sorts of albums from people like Go West, Andy Summers. Oh, God, there's just so much. Paul Young. Just loads of stuff. In that video, you'll see he auditioned for Bananarama and Slade. And he was called up to be the bass player for Mick Ralph's. In fact, Pino Palladino put him forward for it. An album with Mick Ralph's after Mick Ralph's had left Bad Company. The drummer was Chris Slade, who went on to work with AC/DC. And while they're rehearsing and Dave Gilmour turns up. So he's going to be part of the band. So this is prior to mid-80s Pink Floyd, when Dave Gilmour basically was doing studio work and studio sessions. And they then wanted to go out on tour but Chris was based down in Cardiff. He just moved to Cardiff and he had various gigs going on down there and some very regular work. And it was like, can I leave that for this that might not even tour? I don't know if it even did tour. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Clearly now you look back and you think, well, Gilmour was involved. I mean, I thought as soon as he said this to me, because I didn't know this until this interview, had he worked with Gilmour alongside Mick Rouse, would Chris have then been invited to be the bass player for Pink Floyd instead of Guy Pratt? Which, wow, what was that, 85, 86, 87? Well, this dates back to 83, 84, 85. Things could have been very different. You just never know these things. And but there's so many stories, so many little things. Chris was there at the very beginning of Trace Elliott and Status Graphite in a shop, 66 Victoria Road in Romford. He was there, and he talks about it in that interview. So please check that out. See what you think. Leave comments. Give it a thumbs up if you would. But it's a good watch. It's good fun. Lewis, next pedal for you is an Empress, a Parabass EQ. I think that's the one Zuma showed us before Christmas, I think. And the compressor. Yes, the Empress compressor is great. You have a Keeley, but the Empress looks awesome. It does. They are great. They are really good. Leslie Mason, totally agree. You go to loads of live performances and gig very low use of the B string. A lot of people just like having it there. They do. I think also a lot of bass players like the sound of 5-string basses, but don't necessarily want to use the low string. And 5 strings, like a 5-string Stingray, does not sound like a 4-string Stingray in any sense, not even close. And there are a lot of players that like the sound of a 5-string Stingray, but they just don't bother using the low B string. But they like the actual inherent tones of the bass. So yeah, no idea why a bass player would need a 6-string. That's for more melodic chordal stuff. Generally, it's more used in jazz, fusion, those prog rock. General bass playing, if you're playing sort of within pop, rock, soul, funk, general gigging, musical genres, you probably wouldn't need a 6-string. I've never needed one. I've never had a hankering to own one. I've reviewed several, but for me, musically, it makes no sense. I've never been in a situation where I needed one. Gav Harrison, do I ever do maintenance checks on your pedal board? Oh, yes, constantly, especially during the summer when I'm doing festivals and gear gets shoved on stage and pulled straight off again. And you drive off and do another gig and it happens all again. Yeah, I do. Regular checks, probably every 2 weeks. Check all the jacks are in. Check all of the power adapters and power banks are all working, all of that. And what checks do you do? Checking cables, pots, and cleaning inputs. Don't generally have to do that too often, maybe every 6 months. How often would I do it? Every 6 months. Right, I'm going to give you a little tip. There's going to be a video for this very shortly. I did include it on a live chat. Was it on a live chat? It was on a live chat. It was an impromptu live chat about 3 years ago. So, it's how we met Jerry Blair. I'm going to do a video for this. It's going to be ready probably by the spring. Right. So, you're going to use a pedal board. Listen up. So, it doesn't matter whether you're playing outdoors on festival stages or in pubs and clubs. It applies across the board. So, for years, I didn't use any effects, so this didn't matter. And about 3 or 4 years ago, we were on festivals and it was bucketing down. And I was looking at my pedals going, they're going to get soaked, aren't they? And I might get electrocuted. This ain't great. Not even close. And I was thinking to myself, when I used to be in Cover Story, I'm sure Steve came up with a fail-safe method of keeping his pedals safe, dry, and away from getting soaked, whether it was some drunkard tipping his beer over the pedals at the front of a gig, or if it was playing outdoors. And I couldn't remember what did we do? Did he buy something? Did he buy like a cover? And I racked my brains for ages. I couldn't remember. And about 2 days after this gig, when my pedals did get drenched, but I didn't get electrocuted, I was walking through Costco. And I got to the bit where they have the catering and home stuff and kitchen stuff. And I passed the aisle with all the foil and the baking parchment, and there was a whole pile of cling film. And I looked at it, and suddenly I got the eureka bell in my head. It was like, ding! That's what we did. Steve went to the supermarket, and we bought a roll of cling film, and we wrapped his pedal board in the cling film. Now, you then got two options once it's wrapped. You can either push the stomp button on your pedal through the cling film, or most cling films got some go in it. Just leave it as it is, and you can still stamp on the buttons. Depends on the pedals, you know. If it's a Boss, it that's different to there being a metal stomp button. But anyway, you can work it out for yourself. So I bought a box of cling film. It's now in the back of my car, and every summer, because I don't tend to do a lot of pub and club gigs anymore, but I do lots of festivals, and I do actually since that gig, I seem to have done more and more gigs where it's been raining. But anyway. You literally wrap your pedal board widthways in cling film. 1 or 2 coats will do. You fold it down at the back where your cables are coming out and your power and what have you. And then it's up to you whether you want to create a hole for the stomp buttons or not. And that works. So if you're on, like I do, a festival and it's pouring with rain, why there's anyone there, I've got no idea. But anyway, you have that on there, and literally the rain can be blowing in to the stage, and all that happens is the rain just falls straight to the bottom, because generally a pedal board you're on a slant unless you're having a completely flat board. But anyway, it works either way. And then when you finish the gig and go back to your car or whatever, you just rip the cling film off, put your nice dry pedal board back in its case, and away you go. Cling film is cheap. You buy it from Costco. It's like £6-7 a roll, and I can probably get hundreds of gigs out of that. So there's your little tip for the day. But I will be doing a video on that in the next couple of weeks to go up ready for festival season. There's young Richard. Good to see you. Michael Anthony just shared that you are live on Phil Plays Bass. Well, thank you very much. Bless your heart. Hopefully 1 or 2 loyal followers will come join in. I hope so. We're here for another couple of hours, so it's all good. Zuma, you have the Empress Bass EQ, and let us know what your findings are. What do you think? What's your opinion on it? Is it good? Is there anything bad about it apart from the price? Because those Empress pedals tend to be in the £250 to £300 range. Michael Anthony, I put most of my pedals away when you got your Helix Rat. Yeah, I bet. But you still run the stereo effects loop to your Source Audio Collider, right? And your Strymon Ola and Stereo Leela volume pedal. Okay, very good. Hard to please guy. What's with the fake account? What are you talking about? Don't know what you're talking about. There is no fake account. What are you talking about? Oh, fake accent. Here we go. Make your next sentence a good one, my man. If you're just going to be on here talking rubbish, then we'll bomb you out. Beat after beat saying hello to Richard. No fake accent. What are you talking about? We're in London, in the UK. I'm from Wimbledon. What are you talking about? Richard, you usually only use the small TC plethora, and it's 9 times out of 10 sitting on top of the amp. Okay, very good. There's people saying hello. There we go. You may find in your feeds, folks, that Leah Williamson fan. Hey, good to see you. We are good, thank you. This is a bass channel. We're talking bass guitars, bass amps, bass effects. Hard to please. Do I know Richard Thompson? Do you mean the upright bass player? I don't know him personally, but I know of him. Yeah, we've done that. Gareth got a new bass the other day. Yes, he did. A very nice Fender. Split coil, single coil, Akume, fabulous. Was it a Precision Special? Can't remember. Active EQ, quite wonderful, lovely looking thing. Well done, Gareth. A very good buy, I think. Euro African, good to see you. I remember you. Oh, here we go, idiots. Here we go. We get them out. Let's just bomb these idiots out, shall we? Thank you very much. Do I know Ralph McTell? Not personally. I don't know where you're going with this, but keep going. Yeah, we got you on alert. Don't worry. Well done, Gaz. Michael Anthony, love Brooks's brilliant accent. It is what it is. I say brilliant because I want to be an ultra suave Brit when I grow up. There's no money in being ultra suave. Don't worry about that, Mike. Right, Liam Williamson fan. Even though I don't play guitar, you love guitars. Excellent. Well, we're talking bass guitars, bass players, bass gear, all of that sort of thing. So if you want to talk bass or even just sit back and listen to us prattle on for a couple of hours, feel free. It's all good. Lewis, you got the California hey dude accent. That's okay. That's all good. All good in my book. Richard, the Akume Fenders were a limited run based on the Mexican Deluxe. Very nice. Okay, yes, really nice. I mean, the pictures Gareth sent me were quite fab. In fact, let me see if I can just call those up. I will share them. Oh, well, I can't, can I? Because we're not on StreamYard. Sorry, I can't share them. Of course. Sorry to hear Andrew Taylor Cummings of Anaconda. I know he doesn't come here on the live chats, but he was meant to be at NAMM next week, and he's been advised by medical professionals that he can't go to NAMM. He's got to have a medical procedure. So I know you're not watching, Andrew, but just sending best wishes out there. Get well soon, my man. Great Sage 92, Dire Straits bass player, John Ealsley, of course. Gareth, Fender Deluxe Active Precision Bass, Special Akume. I think you got a really good deal there, Gaz. I can't wait to hear how you find it when you're out on gigs. You wanted me to give you some advice on that EQ. Is it 2-band or 3? And has the mids got a sweep on it? Or is it just bass and treble? Hard to please guy. I played baseball in college and caught a record bass in... we're not talking baseball, my friend. We're talking bass guitars. Yeah. Yeah, you haven't quite got the general idea of what the topic of discussion here is. Keep going, though. We'll get there. We'll make a bass player of you yet. Yes, Gaz, remind me, what's the EQ on that bass? I have a feeling if it's a deluxe that you might have a mid-sweep on there. Leslie Mason, which bass is the one bass that you would save in front of your wife's? Oh, easy. I can't get it because it's in a gig bag in the other room. Or is it? Actually, is it? Is it? Yeah, it is. My two most used basses are... Oh, I can get one of them. Hold on. So one is in a gig bag in the room next door, which is my Status Graphite Empathy. But the other one would be my GB Rumour, which I had made, 22 years ago. I think LED batteries aren't in at the moment. But I had that made by Bernie Goodfellow of GB Guitars down in Brighton. It looks green. It actually goes blue in certain light. But it's called Kingfisher Blue. But it does look green, but it's not meant to be. That wasn't the colour it was meant to be. But anyway, gold hardware. Bird's Eye Maple, fingerboard and neck. Walnut stripes. Swamp ash body. Bullet hole in the back. But I haven't got the LED batteries in, so unfortunately I can't turn those on. But it plays like silk. And it's great. So that and the Empathy are the two, generally the ones I take most of the time. Because I know they will cut through any band mix that a sound guy wishes to give me. And they fit great. They balance great. Easy to play. And I have no issues with them. But yeah, what about you, Leslie? What would you, what's the bass you would save in a fire? Hard to please guy. How many basses do I have? Many. Many. Approaching 50. Richard, no sweepable mid, but they are 3-band. Best setting is mids in the middle and just a touch of additional bass and treble. That's how I run your Jazz Elite. Okay, there you go. Hard to please, teal. Yeah, it was meant to be teal. There was actually a photo of a Sadowski that was more blue than green. I said to Bernie, that's the colour I want. He said, yeah, no problem. And then I got a call to say, oh, bass has been sprayed. Do you want to come and check it? And I went and checked it, and it was royal blue. Royal blue. And I had to say, sorry, that's not the colour I asked for. I wanted like a teal kind of aqua colour. He said, yeah, but it looks great in royal blue, doesn't it? I said, it does look great, but that's not the colour I want. So it needs to go back and get redone, which it did. And that's the colour it ended up. But like I say, in certain sunlight, if I put that on a stage and there's sunlight blaring in, it goes aqua blue. It's quite a weird paint job, but it's great. Looks great. Gareth, 3-band MIDI Q, no sweep. Okay, that's okay. Leslie Mason, Michael Anthony, great question. I would have to grab your Lakeland 5502 and your 4402. There you go. They're great basses, especially for the money. Leslie Mason, why is that 36 volts? It's not. It's an 18 volt circuit, and then there are two 9-volt batteries for 2 sets of LEDs. One in the front of the neck and one for the LEDs in the manufacturer's logo that's in the headstock. So it takes 4 batteries. Hard to please guy, I have 83 instruments, mostly guitars, but no bass. There's the issue. You need to get some basses, my man. Narendra, Ham High Chat Praji Key Boss. Narendra, you're very welcome here on the live chats, but if you can't speak English, you need to put what you want to post into Google Translate, translate it to English, then copy and paste the English into the chat. I sadly don't have time to take messages in any language other than English out and then translate them. So if you can put them into English, that'd be fabulous. Hard to please guy, what's the oldest bass made? I don't know. How long's a bit of string? You tell me. Answers on a postcard, please, if that would be okay. Right, just quickly going to check the stream health. Keep the questions coming, folks. We've got 2 new subscribers since we started the live chat. Very welcome. Come on in. If you're new to the channel, I hope you find some bass content here that you enjoy, that works for you. There's over 1,000 videos here on the channel, so feel free to take a look inside, see what there is. If you're looking for something specific, let me know. And if I've already got a video on either a bass or an amp or a pedal or a particular bass player, I'll send you the link. And if you want to check it out, it's all good. Let's just check that. So that should be up and running, and it is. So that's good. So that's all working, and stream health is excellent. There we go. Super stuff. Okie dokes. Leslie, I would save my Ernie Ball Music Man Stingray, all black, lovely. Rosewood, lovely. Just ahead of my Sunburst 70s reissue. What year is the Stingray? What era? Recent? 70s? 80s? 90s? If it's an 80s, I might have to take it off you. Because it'll have a gloss neck, and I love gloss neck Stingrays. And they've stopped doing them back in like 92, I think, 93. Indeed, 317, good to see you. We saw you last week, didn't we? Come through from Phil DeHov's Discord. Sir Anthony just finished Sinners. Excellent. Neil Noble, super chat, £5. Thank you very much, Neil Noble. Good work, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. You can do... any of you, if you wish, follow Neil Noble's example there. He's just done a super chat of £5, contributed to the channel. Thank you. Check your Discord DMs. Talking to me? I haven't checked in on Discord in a little while. Sorry. I'll do that another time. I'll do that actually next week. I've got to go around all the different platforms and update all the information for the channel. Lewis, you're eyeballing a Fender in metallic green finish, $1,000 price. It's cheap compared to the cost of your Dingwall. Yeah, well, I'm assuming that's second hand. I'm not assuming that's a new price. Or is it? I don't know. What's the model? Neil Noble, you've learned a new bass today. Excellent. Yamaha, you mean you've bought one or you've just learned about them? Yamaha TRB 4P. Excellent basses. You've learned a new bass. Do you mean you've learned about a new bass or you've bought one and you're playing Leslie Mason, 2015 Stingray. That's very fine. I believe I kiss it every night. I'm sure you do. And what about the Stingray? Boom, boom. I'm here all week. Thank you. 10 points for play. Michael Anthony, Nate. Okay, now I can put a name to the handle. You Saw Sinners, incredible music movie. There we go. Actually, I was going to make the title of tonight's live chat. This morning, I was thinking, God, there are some good soundtracks. I had the Rocky IV soundtrack come up on my phone. I'd forgotten. In fact, no, I hadn't. I'm telling lies. I hadn't forgotten how good that is. I just hadn't listened to it in a very long time. The Rocky IV soundtrack is fabulous. And my brain suddenly went, yeah, you've got loads of soundtracks on your music player here on my desktop of CDs that I've bought over the years and what have you. There are some seriously great film soundtracks, but funnily, a lot of the best ones came in the 80s. And I suddenly thought back, well, what was the first really good film soundtrack? I will happily throw into the hat that I think the very first popular soundtrack that was, I don't want to say it was the reason the film did so well, but in this case, I think it could well have been, would be Saturday Night Fever. Followed very closely, because very close that the films were released, by Grease. Both of those soundtracks, I can listen to Saturday Night Fever a lot anyway, especially playing in a disco band. I don't listen to Grease much at all, although I used to play in a Grease tribute, so I would listen to those songs at that time. But then I was going through the others I've got, and I was thinking, well, yeah, Footloose was a good soundtrack. Yeah, that's good. Blues Brothers, that's not too bad. The Commitments, there were 2 albums for that. And then Rocky IV, and I was like, that was a seriously good soundtrack. If you've not checked it out, go and check it out either on YouTube or Spotify or whatever platform you play your music on. The Rocky IV soundtrack at that time was really good. And even just for the fact that it's got James Brown doing Living in America, but there were 2 instrumentals on there. There's the war montage and there's the training montage. Really good, really good. Do yourselves a favor, check them out. And then after that came things like Top Gun, which had a very popular soundtrack. I think that album went to #1. And then kind of things sort of changed a bit. There weren't that many sort of film soundtracks. It kind of, a lot of those albums had multiple hits of them, and then it kind of sort of became unpopular again. Let me just throw my music player open, see if there's anything I've missed here. The Ocean's 11 and Ocean's 12 soundtracks are good, but I don't think I've bought any more since then. Let's have a look. Original soundtracks. Blues by Dirty Dancing, yeah, okay. Ocean's 12, Ocean's 11. Yeah, I haven't bought any since those. But those are great. There's little bits of script from the film, but the Ocean's 11 soundtrack is really good. Very good for bass, as I recall. I haven't listened to them for a while. I used to play them in the car when I was driving to and from gigs, but yeah. Right, messages here. But yeah, by all means, folks, throw in your suggestions for great album soundtrack, great film soundtrack, sorry. Lewis, that was the new price, the $1,000. Okay, well, you want to go and check them out before you don't buy blind. I would suggest. Gareth, Blues Brothers soundcheck. There we go. Michael Anthony, Living in America, super funky. T.M. Stevens on a Spectre. What can I say? Leslie, I'm not sure if I have, but how does one subscribe to your channel? There should be a red button. Let me just check on. Oh, they don't put it there anymore, do they? Can anyone advise? Because what I'm seeing, because I'm the creator of this video, I'm not seeing the video how you guys see it. So if anyone can advise Leslie on how to subscribe to the channel, feel free to stick that in the live chat, please. Like I say, I'm the creator of this live chat, so what I see as the creator isn't the same as what you guys get presented with through YouTube. So, but yes, please subscribe, Leslie, if you'd be so kind. Fabulous. Neil Noble, sorry, I've read about the Yamaha bass from a Genesis 1992 concert. Yes, used by Mike Rutherford and Daryl Sturmer. Do I like those guitars? Yes, I do. The very first time those started to take seed in the Genesis sort of family tree was on the Phil Collins 1990 tour for But Seriously. So it was Lee Sklar that. So basically, Lee Sklar had a 4-string, a 5-string, and a 5-string fretless. If you watch the Phil Collins Live in Germany DVD, actually, I'll put that link up. Let me see. Just bear with me a minute. There was a video someone did a couple of weeks ago, a 4K restoration of the Phil Collins. Helps if you can spell it properly, Mike. Phil Collins, Germany, 1990, 4K. I did put it up in the chat. You might have seen it already. Oh, it helps if you go into the right thing, Mike. Bear with me a moment. So you can see Lee using all 3 of those basses. And then Genesis came on and did a little stint with Phil Collins at the Nebworth 1990 concert. And clearly Lee Sklar gets on very well with Mike Rutherford. And obviously Daryl Sturmer is in the same band, or same bands, plural. So there was obviously a conversation. Clearly Mike Rutherford liked what he heard, got in touch with Yamaha, and he started using 4-string TRB basses. So anyway, that video's there. If you want to see and hear how Lee Sklar puts those through their paces, there you go. Lewis, player 2 series Fender. Right, got you, PJ. Yeah, I would say go and play 1 or 2 if you can, Lewis. Don't buy blind. Michael Anthony, Phil DeHove is rehearsing to be in that Celine Dion tribute. Yes, you said. Appears to be a fairly big production. Good for him. Perfect man for the job. Gareth, you're throwing in the Bodyguard soundtrack. That was a big seller. Yes, indeed. Lewis, 1.1K for that Fender. Okay. Michael Anthony, I like the soundtrack to Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Not heard that. Gareth Harrison, more recently, Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, noted. Richard Fitton Perkins, agreed, Gareth. Blues Brothers soundtrack is about as good as it gets. There we go. Obviously, with the fantabulous Donald Duck Dunn on bass. Richard Fitton Perkins, subscribe button is usually next to the thumbs up, thumbs down button on YouTube. Yeah, I think they've moved it. I'm not sure if it's still there. Martin Bix, good to see you. David Holmes was behind the Ocean's 11 and 12 soundtracks. Yes, he was. Both great. Also did the Out of Sight soundtrack, which was excellent. Okay. Michael Anthony, speaking to T.M. Stevens, loved his work on Steve Vai's album Sex and Religion. He's also very good on the Billy Joel River of Dreams album, amongst others. Richard, if you can't see the button, Leslie, it means you're already subscribed. Oh, there we go. Harley Quinn 1. Can I Sing Neon by John Mayer? No, we don't do, this isn't a performance channel, sadly. Siraj, what happened with King Baba in BBL? Makes no sense. I don't know what you're talking. It just sounds like gibberish. Leslie, apparently you're subscribed. There you go. There you go. You see, you'd already done it. Martin, you mentioned in the Lee Sklar Immediate Family film being on Prime. Yeah, in the last stream. Yeah, watched it this week. It was great. There you go. Got a lovely. Exactly. Fabulous man. He has been here on the channel. if you are unaware of this fact, he joined us for about 40 minutes on a live chat last July, on the very first one that we did in the vertical format. He joined us. I saw the day before on his channel. He said, "Oh, tomorrow I've got a day off, and I'm going to do a hang on his webcast thing that he does." And I went, "Oh, all right." So I sent him an email. I said, "You don't want to pop on our live chat if you got 5 minutes, would you?" And I didn't hear anything. Gave him the link, and we were in the middle of the live chat, and he appeared on the screen. I was like, "Oh my God, okay." And he joined us, and he sat and had a chat with us for about 40 minutes. So that is out there. I can't remember the exact live chat that was. Let me just have a look. See if I can find it. Helps if you can spell his name right, doesn't it? That would have been, so it was July. There we are. So if you don't you're thinking, there's no way Lee Sklar's been on his live chat. Yeah, he has. There you go. And he actually was on in 2023, but just by text. He was in the studio, but he sent his regards to everyone that was tuning into the live chat. There we go. Lewis, true, the only blind bass I purchased was a Dingwall. No place to demo in California, but I can and will play before purchasing the Fender. Good man. Neil Noble, I know he wasn't bass, but did I like Bob Weir? I'm not that familiar with the Grateful Dead back catalogue. I'm not one of the converted. Never really investigated into their back catalogue or watched any of their stuff. So I'm probably the wrong guy to ask, Neil. But if anyone else is watching has any opinions on Bob Weir, feel free to express them. Gareth, Richard's face when that happened was priceless. Well, he didn't know. He couldn't see what I could see at the time. And again, you know, we've been going along on the live chats and I occasionally get famous people on. But I didn't know Lee would turn up. I didn't think he would. And he didn't email me back to say he was going to appear. He just clicked on the link and came on in. And that was that. So, yeah, bless his heart. And he says from time to time, I will come back. I'll come back on for another live chat. But invariably, he's so busy. He's so busy. And he's an older guy, you know. So I don't want to take up his time. I have promised I will go and I will subscribe to his live chat thing that he does, but you have to pay for it. So I haven't. Every time I think, right, I'm going to do that, I need to do it at the start of the month, so I get a month's of use out of that subscription. But I was planning on doing it on the 1st of January, and here we are, middle of January, and I haven't done it. So I will aim for the 1st of February, and I will join in on his live chat then. Richard, yes, that was one of your moments. Yes, indeed. Neil, can't wait to listen to the Lee Sklar episode. It's there, my man. It is there. Feel free. That link is there. Yeah. He's on for about, I think we get about 10 or 15 minutes in, and then he appeared, and he stays for about 35, 40 minutes, and then he ducks out. Can't blame him. But, yeah, enjoy. Hull Wallakiri. If a taxi driver drives in reverse, do passengers get their money back? No. Not that I'm aware, but I don't know any taxi. Actually, no, I do. I tell a lie. I do know taxi driver. I know 2 taxi drivers who are both bass players. They do the taxi driving to top up the funds in between periods of not many gigs. But no, you don't get your money back, I'm afraid. Good luck, but no cigar. Michael Anthony, I'm sad that Lee Sklar kind of ruined himself for me when he posted. I can't get into the political side, Mike, I'm afraid. I have no issues with Lee Sklar's political views. Dang it, I wish players wouldn't use their celebrity to blather politics. No, I agree. Yeah, he's done. How can I put this politely? I think Lee has kind of created a hole for himself there, but he's perfectly entitled to express that. He doesn't come onto my channel and express it. It's not a problem. The fact I kind of agree with his viewpoint, that's up to me, but I just don't. I don't promote that. I don't get. What do I say here? I don't get hyper energetic over promoting my political viewpoints. I have an extreme distrust of political people and members of parliament, and I don't trust people. Someone has to do it. It's a crap job. But I don't trust politicians as far as I could throw them. I don't trust the people in charge of my country. I don't think the people putting themselves forward to be politicians here in the UK. God, we're going on a political bent, and I don't want to do this. I don't trust them. I don't think any of the parties are particularly great. And then I look at you guys across the pond, and please don't get me started, especially with what's going on in the past week or so. And I don't want to turn this into a political rant. It's a bass channel. Very good, Mike. Yeah. But Lee is a lovely guy, and regardless of his political leanings, I think he only wants what's best for that country. Sadly, the people currently in power, this is their second chance at it, and they're making a complete. I'll put an expletive in, but I don't think YouTube will slap my backside for it. I think it's a complete shit show. And I can't wait till you guys have another election. And it doesn't have to be that it changes in terms of the party. I just think a certain individual and the people that hang on his coattails are not doing what's the best for you guys and the world in general. They don't have to. They aren't the leaders for the world. Sadly, they're in charge of the country with the biggest influence and the greatest resources, and they're not doing it in a good way. Right. Anyway, right. We get back on the bass. Lewis, you have a small challenge for testing a Fender in California. The Guitar Center is pretty much a bad example of what the instrument represents. Okay. Abuse, out of tune. Yes. Yes, I agree. I don't know what the solution is for you there, Lewis. Maybe get hold of your Fender distributor and see if they would allow you a window of opportunity to go and test a bunch of basses. Sometimes distributors will allow that. If you're pleasant about it, you book an appointment. If you explain to them, look, there's nowhere near me and I can't find a store that has a decent enough selection, they might let you do it. I have known distributors over here, not for Fender, but for other companies, who will allow that sort of thing. Stacey, you love your Sklar. I bet you do. Neil Noble, how do you rate Gary Talent? Oh, he's a very good bass player. Don't worry about that. Yeah, if you've played bass for Bruce Springsteen for 50 years, I guess, you're not going to be too shabby, are you? So, no, he's very good. Very good. Although I'm not a fan of Bruce Springsteen, and I don't apologize for that. It does not tick any boxes for me, never has. I appreciate the guy, and I think anyone who does a 3-hour plus show and has done that from the moment he started playing deserves a huge slap on the back. But I have no love of Bruce Springsteen's material, but it's just me. Okay, it's I don't like it. It doesn't light my spark in any shape, manner, or form. Lewis Wingrove, my first bass purchasing experience was a bit disappointing. Led to a Schecter 4-string. Well, I bet now you've played the Dingwall. I'm not saying the Schecter is bad. It's not, but the Dingwall is a step up. You'll be hearing the difference. The playability should be different as well. Zuma, the Emperor EQ is great. Just now I gave my G&L with a single P pickup a high Q boost at 800 Hertz. That gives it a reasonable facsimile of the Aria SB mid-range honk. Very good. It will do, because that SB noise killer circuit is all based about mids and the low pass selector as you go around the different settings. Michael Anthony, to me, Guitar Center is similar to AI and the internet in general. There's good and bad, depends where you specifically go. Okay, I have no experience at Guitar Center, obviously, because we're here in the UK. Lewis Wingrove, I trust Brooks's policy on politics. We all agree it's pretty bad. No need to disagree on the crooked persons. Exactly. Richard, agreed on all counts, Mike. Politics best left avoided. I refer everybody to the Frankie Goes to Hollywood 2 Tribes video. Neil Noble, last one. Sorry, Adam Clayton. Good. I'm not a huge U2 fan, although I've played plenty of U2 songs in my time. Kind of fell off the U2 train around about 89, so rattle and hum time. But a lot of people complain that Adam Clayton isn't all that. However, he another historical, legendary band that has maintained the same lineup. If he wasn't any good, he wouldn't have stayed in that band as long as he has. There's also the point that there are engineers and producers who have worked with U2 who have said you couldn't get another bass player into U2 to do what Adam Clayton does, and no one could do it as well as he does in that framework. Probably similar to replacing John Deacon in Queen. So Neil Fairclough is a personal friend. He isn't John Deacon, but then I'm saying he's not trying to be. Neil is his own player. He's replicating John's bass lines. But in terms of Queen being a content productive unit, in terms of studio and everything else, no one could replace John Deacon, just as you couldn't replace Freddie Mercury. You couldn't replace Brian May. You couldn't replace Roger Taylor. The sum of the parts is what made that band what it is. Adam Clayton is exactly the same side of that coin. You know, U2 would not be the same band if Adam Clayton wasn't in it. People always look at the singers and the guitar players and think, no, those are the two you couldn't replace. You could replace the rhythm section. No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't. It's a bit like in Yes, you've got Chris Squire was the mainstay. He was there through every iteration. Bill Bruford was on the first one. 5 albums. 6 albums. Topographic Oceans. Yeah. Then it changed to Alan White. Different drummer. But both of them quite different. So I don't think Alan White could be Bill Bruford, just so I don't think Bill Bruford could be Alan White. This is what you're talking about with unique musicians. And they have their own thing. Back then, in the 60s, 70s, 80s to a fair degree, every player was exceptionally unique because they had come up through that period where the Beatles had happened, music had happened, rock and roll had happened. They were forming their own musical personalities. People like Adam Clayton already had musical history before them that they could draw on, whereas people in things like Yes and Genesis and the Beatles didn't have that necessarily. They were creating the blueprint. So when Yes did their Union tour in 1991, you had all, I think, except Peter Banks on guitar and Patrick Moraz. Apart from them, those two, I think that was everyone that had been in Yes, were on stage together. Alan White didn't play anything like Bill Bruford, and Bill Bruford didn't play anything like Alan White. Bill Bruford generally was playing Simmons pads and doing percussion and effects and noises, whereas Alan White was doing the general kit play. But why would they want to be like each other? They wouldn't. So that's my point. But anyway, Adam Clayton, yes, very good bass player, very good in U2. I'm not sure. The test would be put Adam Clayton in another band and see how he does. But that's never going to happen. It never has happened, so we have no measure of that. Gareth Harrison, 2 Tribes was #1 on the day you were born. You're just a youngster. I was 12 years old. Neil Noble, thank you. That's okay. Zuma, Adam is great. Especially those early albums. I kind of fell off after Acton Baby. It's kind of similar for me. Gareth Harrison, there's an art to playing 8th and 16th notes cleanly and constantly. Exactly what I'm saying. This is, engineers and producers know their stuff. They wouldn't say he was good at that if he wasn't. So there we go. Michael Anthony, great example. Yes, Chris and Alan will live forever. They will indeed. I love me some Chris Squire. I was listening, actually, while I was doing my accounts over the past couple of weeks. I had most of the Yes back catalogue going on my music player. Love it. Love it. Michael, listening to a Yes album all the way through is a religious experience. I will agree with that. So positive. Yes. I first stumbled across the Yes album in 1993. At this time of year, January, February, March, cold, wet, wintry evenings, listening to some Yes albums from the 70s. So by that time, that was over 20 years old. Here I am, 33 years on, rediscovering the album. I listen to Yes albums on occasion. I don't have them on all the time, but I can listen to those albums and just go off into another realm. Just fabulous. Fabulous. Neil Noble. So Mike, for example, could Mike Rutherford seamlessly join Fleetwood Mac? He wouldn't play the lines like John McVie would. And could John McVie join Genesis? No. I don't think John McVie could get his head around prog rock, to be fair. Some players don't lend themselves to certain genres. It would be like saying, could John Taylor play in Rush? It just wouldn't work. It's just wrong genres. Not possible. I don't think. A bit like saying, could Stanley Clark play in Duran Duran? It just no. Although those are good examples. But yeah, I think Mike Rutherford could play in Fleetwood Mac. I don't think John McVie could play in Genesis. I don't think you'd want to be fair. Does it change things too much? Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Gareth, in the past, sorry, messages keep moving. In the past, you had to record a full take of a track unless relying on the producer to punch in the odd note. But now with DAW, you can have as many tries as you need, which is exactly what Chris Childs was saying in his interview. Exactly that. Sui Speed S3Z. I don't know what that is. Hi, what would you do if you have 500 hectares of private land untouched in an area full of... What's that got? We're on a bass channel, mate. Talking bass guitars, bass players. Don't know what you're talking about. Don't know what you're talking about. Make your next sentence good or I'll bomb you out. Michael Anthony, need to duck out? That's okay, mate. Take it easy. It is, oh, crikey. We've been going for over an hour and a half already. It's 7:36 here in London, here in the UK. This is live chat 149 here on Brooks's Bass Corner. We're talking bass guitars, bass players, bass amps, bass effects, great bass players, bass strings, cases, cleaning materials, setting pedal boards up, doing auditions, anything to do with bass guitar, bass playing. Got any questions? Put them in the live chat window, press send, and we will respond to them as soon as we see them. Zuma, boy, would I love to see Stanley Clark play Girls on film. Put it into AI. That's your challenge for the day, young Zuma. And I want you to send me on WhatsApp what it comes up with. I want to hear that. That'd be great. That'd be great. There's a thing. Will it all go doing his fast high octave playing? Lewis Wingrove, took you 40 years to discover that Les Claypool is not my favourite bass player. Okay, Lee is king in my book. Lee Sklar. Still love Claypool. Yeah, respect to all players. There we go. Here we go. There's lots of stuff out there. It's all good. So, if you've been watching the channel waiting for the bass demos, I'm really sorry. This week just ran away with me. The Chris Childs video took so much time. I didn't think I was going to spend that much time putting in all the extra post-production, but my Lord, it took a couple of days. I didn't get that finished till Tuesday. But we got there, and it's doing quite well. The shorts have been doing quite well for me as well. So thank you very much if you've been watching those, liking them, commenting them. I think there's about 6 shorts, 6 or 7. So thank you for that. Very much appreciated, of course. Oh, we got some messages on Bass Chat. Hold on. No, reactions, not messages. Very good. If you're watching from Bass Chat, if you've ventured on, good to see you. Come on in. You're amongst friends. We're talking bass guitars, bass amps, bass effects, great bass players, bass maintenance, all of that sort of thing. Great albums with bass playing on. Great albums with great bass playing on even. How about that? But yeah, fire away if you've got any questions or comments. It's all good. Neil Noble, I like the chat about how different bass players can and can't fit in the different bands. Do I rate Yolanda Charles? I know Yolanda Charles. I've interviewed her twice. Yes, she's a great bass player. Very good. She does a lot of work. Yeah. Fine bass player. Zuma, I resemble that remark. I resemble that remark? Resent that remark. I've spent all week programming my drum machine for our video. I know you sent me the video. I'm looking forward to what surprises you have in store. It's great. Richard, Gareth Harrison, 2 Tribes was the first single I ever bought. You were 14. Crikey. My first single was Stand and Deliver, Adam and the Ants, April 81. I was 9 years old. Yeah. What a time. It was a long time ago. Neil Noble, what do you think of Yolanda Charles? Let me know. What's the analytics? There we go. Just checking that's all working. That's all good. We've had 390 people watching the live chat. Thank you very much. I think we're in there, aren't we? Right, stream health. Yep, that's all good. Excellent. Someone there has posted a new message. What's that say? AP1706 said hi. Good to see you. Now that facts, the crossbow, right? Okay, what's that got to do with the price of cheese? You're just posting. Okay. Clearly, we've attracted people who've just stumbled out of the pub. So I've got no idea why you've put that in my live chat about bass guitars, but there we go. I need to just go into there. Now, there we go. I need to like that, and I need to respond to your super chat. Oh, I can't respond. Right, okay. I can give it a like. Thank you very much. I've just realised I haven't turned on the comments on the stage, have I? It's one of those days. It's been one of those weeks, I can tell you. Neil, I know Yolanda Charles from Paul Weller and Robbie Williams. I'm no expert, but she seems to play great with a cool image. I like her. Very good. Yeah, she has a very extensive career dating back to the early 90s. Again, Google is your friend on this stuff. So if you put Yolanda into Google, it'll tell you all the stuff she's done over the years. Okay, now that fact, you've got one more comment. We are talking bass guitars and bass players. If you're just going to keep putting in mindless twaddle, I'm going to block you. So make your next sentence a good one. Right, folks. Right, there we go. That's all I needed to see. Tart. He's gone. Right, Yolanda Charles. This is Leslie. Good to see you. Yolanda Charles is awesome. Have had a couple of lessons with him, her. She's one of the best all-round players around. There we go. Yeah, I think she still does private lessons. She's doing her own projects now, rather than being a side woman for various musical names. Let's just make sure that's... let's have a look here. Yes, she's currently touring Mike Lindup. Yeah, it's not really a tour. She just did a couple of shows before Christmas. She is his bass player of choice. Both him and Phil Gould use her. Zuma, is Tracy Wormworth still gigging? Not sure. Again, Google is your friend on that one. Lewis, fact, flat wounds are preferred over round wounds. You're fact spamming, forgive me. Okay. I'll let you off, Lewis. Neil Noble, Mike, if you could step into any band tomorrow, who'd you play with? Queen or Duran Duran would do me. Thank you very much. Either of those would be fabulous. Mr. Detree, what basses do I play? I don't actually have enough time on this live chat to go through them all, but there are 44. So you're a fellow bass player. Well done. And you've subbed. Thank you very much. Bless your heart. Come on in. You're amongst friends. Lots of bass players here. We're talking bass guitars, bass amps, bass effects, bass gear, cleaning stuff, gig bags, strings, cases. Great bass players. Albums with great bass playing on. You want to talk bass? You're in the right place. Welcome in. Actually, I should put that on the T-shirt, shouldn't I? If you want to talk bass, this is the right place. How about that? Put that on the suggestions list. There we go. See, I make notes of all these things. Helps if you can spell. There we go. Very good. Mr. Young Thug. Oh dear, sorry, mate. We don't do religion here. Bye. Mr. Tree, you have 15 bases, so I don't feel so bad. No, I don't feel bad at all. I know people with hundreds of bases, so no, it doesn't worry me at all. Richard Fitton Perkins, you forgot to mention your graphite jazz neck arrived with Steve in Fleet today. The build is on. There you go. There you go. Rock fan, good to see you. Good job. Keep it going. I'm trying. I tell you. I'm trying. Zuma, I second Queen Duran Duran. You'll add Jamiroquai to the list. Okay. Very good. Neil Noble. Yes, there you see. Good bands to join him. The thing with Jamiroquai, though, that would send you loopy, Zuma, is you would end up... I have it on first-hand knowledge that... basically you're held on a retainer, which is great, and the problem is you go in and do a load of recording, it gets recorded, and then they'll do like various mixes of it and then scrap it all. You get called back to re-record totally different versions of the same songs. You do that, they scrap that, and then bring you back a third time to record exactly what you did the first time that they scrapped. It's just a constant process of that, but that's what the deal is. So yeah. Mr. Detree, also, if you're ever in the US, I haven't been in the US since 2014, but perhaps when the government changes, I might venture forth. There's an awesome music store called Motor City Guitar. They have hundreds of basses. Where in the US? Where is that? Oh, Motor City, of course, it gives it away. Well done. Thank you, Richard. Yeah, we have selected bass emporiums over here that do a similar thing. What happens with all of them, though, is that they need more space. If you've ever ventured to the gallery in Camden, you'll know exactly what I mean. The Bass Centre had it about right. High ceiling, wide building, wide room to move about, stuff on plinths and risers, and it all worked great. The gallery is literally everything crammed into a shoebox. Bass Direct is pretty good. Again, it gets a bit cramped in there. Bass Brothers, there's a bit more space there. But yeah, so that's generally what happens with those. Zuma, no problem. In between all those revisions, I'll take out a bunch of JK's cars. Exactly. We end up driving down the roads that I drive on. That's what happens. Neil Noble, would you play with Genesis 92? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That'd be all over that. Absolutely. Leslie went to her show at the Stables with Mike Lindup, excellent, and have accidentally become a bit of a fanboy. That's okay, as I wasn't looking for her, didn't really know her. She's doing a lot of projects. Yes, she is. Mr. Tree, that is in Waterford, Michigan. Very good. Okay. Yeah, haven't been to the US since 2014. Last time I was there was for interviewing Aguilar and Stuart Spector. We were in New York with Barnes and Mullins, the UK distributor for both companies, and it was a paid-for trip for interviews that were then featured in Bass Guitar magazine. So yeah, actually I might be putting the audio up from those interviews shortly. Sean Jones, £2 super chat, thank you very much, bless your heart. LF Systems soon? Yes, probably be a couple of weeks yet. I've got such a backlog of stuff. I'm trying to wade my way through it, and it takes time. They will appear, don't worry. I was actually putting all that footage and the review footage in a folder yesterday, so it'll come. All these things get through eventually, so yeah. Richard, I know the area well. Used to date ago in Windsor, Ontario, over the Ambassador Bridge. There you go. Right, I need to say thank you for that. Just bear me a moment. There we go. Thank you very much, Sean. If anyone wants to follow Sean's lead there, we have the super chat facility and the super thanks facility. Helps to keep the channel running. Everything you see and everything that goes into the videos here on the channel is paid for by me. It comes out of my pocket. We don't get anything for free here. So super chat donations, super thank donations, very much appreciated. Brooks's Bass Corner merch links in description box below. Affiliate links for Thomann and Amazon in the description box as well. If you're watching this video after the event, please leave comments. Feel free to share it out social media. Please give the video a thumbs up. It makes so much difference, but it's free. It doesn't cost you anything to do it. Please give the video a thumbs up. Leslie, she's writing her memoirs. She's not that old. Okay. One of the most interesting players and great knowledge and stories. Like I say, I've done 2 interviews with her. I did one at the Warwick Bass Bash in August 2016, and then I did another interview with her in 2018 at London Bass Guitar Show. Neil Noble, £2 super sticker. Bless your heart. Well done, sir. I'll be making you poor at this rate. Goodness, thank you. Thank you very much. Great stuff. I'll give that a nice big star. There we go. Is there anything I can do with that? No, I can't. But thank you anyway. Thank you, Neil. I wonder why she's writing her memoirs. Okay. Neil, this is a great episode. Well, thank you. Mate, there's 140. Well, this is 149. There's 148 of these. Feel free. If you're struggling to get off to sleep one night, put one of these live chats on. You'll be away in about 2 minutes. You'll be fast asleep, I promise you. Mr. Tree, sweet bro. There we go. What's the time here? It is 8 minutes to 8 in the evening. We're in London. Tippy Flop. I don't know who you are, but we're talking bass guitars. So, yeah, it's 8 minutes to 8. 1952. We're broadcasting from we're broadcasting from London here in the UK. It's all good. We're talking bass guitars and bass players, bass gear. Albums with great bass playing on. Muhad Panhalka, Game Over. Is it? Why, what are you playing? Pac-Man? Space Invaders. Mr. Do. You're playing Mr. Do, aren't you? That's what it is. Yeah. Or Gauntlet, maybe. Space Harrier? I don't know. Ladybug. Lock and Chase. Donkey Kong Jr. 2. Is that what you're playing? You're obviously giving us updates while you're playing video games. So how are we doing? Horace Goes Skiing. You're picking favourites of mine now, Richard. If you want to go down a Spectrum route, I'm more than happy to play that game. We could do word association. But the American audience wouldn't quite get it. But we could do word association based on Spectrum games. You've got to come up with another game based on the... Yeah, I can do that. Horace and the Spiders. You and me can do that. Olivia P. Hi, welcome. We're talking bass guitars, bass players. Come on in. If you want to talk bass guitars, you're in the right place. Leslie, she's older than she looks and has played with everyone that matters. She turned pro at 19. Yeah, paced a load in her life. Yeah, absolutely. I remember seeing her play on... We used to have a Saturday comedy sort of variety show called Saturday Zoo on Channel 4 that Jonathan Ross hosted, and she was in the house band for that. But I saw her first when she played with Jimmy Somerville on Top of the Pops, I think in 1991. She was using a natural brown JD. Richard, the younger audience would fall asleep, but that's all right, but you and I can keep it going. So our last gambit is Horace and the Spiders. I need to put these in so you don't forget. So American members of the audience, you might want to just Google this for a lark. So Richard and I are now playing a game of word association based on ZX Spectrum games from the 80s. If you don't know what a ZX Spectrum is, Google is your friend, okay? Leslie, proper bass player, possibly the most important since Janet Kay. No, there's more... I follow where you're going, Leslie, and I can tell you like a bit of Yolanda. No, there are more important bass players. That's no aside to Yolanda. There are more important bass players that have come through since that. I can assure you. As a learned bass journalist of 18 years and a bass player of 39 years, there is. No, I'm not having that, Richard. No, Horace and the Spiders. What's the link between Jet Set Willie and Horace and the Spiders? You have to take that and go through what's the link, because they're not even made by the same publisher. Now, you got to take that one back. I'll await your correction. Leslie, yeah, correct. Jimmy Somerville, JD, good night. Mate, there's a lot goes on in there. No. Female bass players. Tina Weymouth. I'd say Tina Weymouth is probably more important. There's been a few. Yolanda's up there. Maybe British, yes. But I'd say Tina Weymouth was probably more important as a female bass player. You got people like Rhonda Smith. Divinity X. Divinity Rocks, sorry. But she kind of... Divinity Rocks lost her way a little bit because she lost the Beyonce gig, and she's gone in to do her own projects, which are fabulous, and no issues with that. But she was on a global stage with Beyonce, and I don't know if she fell out of that job because Beyonce changed her band or what. I don't know all the politics. I interviewed Divinity after that had happened, and she didn't really want to talk about it, so I don't know the full thing. Melissa Alfton Moore, maybe. I mean, there's so many good female bass players. Really, there are. There's just so many out there. The unfortunate thing is they usually get glossed over on the big jobs. I don't want to get into a sexist chat. That's not what this channel's about. You would like to think if a female bass player didn't get the job, it was because there was simply just a better bass player and sexism didn't come into it. That's the way I would look at it, is that it doesn't matter what sex you are, you're the right person for the job or you're not. So, yeah, that's the way I would do that. I didn't know the game. Yes, you did. I just said it. Oh, maybe you were going at it before I'd explained the rules. So that's the rule. So we are stuck on, at the moment, Horace and the Spiders. Anyone else wishes to jump into this of a UK 80s vintage, feel free, but you've got to link the game either through publisher, title, genre, or whatever. So the answer is Hungry Horace, of course. Right. Very good. So it's now up to me, isn't it? Inca Curse. That's my upgrade on there. Inca Curse. Leslie Mason, not great. Tina, not great. No, come on. Tina Weymouth, you're joking, aren't you? Talking Heads. Tina Weymouth is, along with Carol Kay, I would say the most influential two female bass players, potentially. I'm probably missing some out. Susie Quattro, maybe. But Tina Weymouth's certainly up there. Nah. Richard, followed closely by Frogger. I see you've missed your patch there. So Frogger would have followed on from Horace Goes Skiing because there's a Frogger section of it in there. Right, well, you've got to go from Inca Curse now. So there we go. Neil Noble, Kim Deal, yeah. She was only in the one band, though. But then Tina Weymouth kind of was, and Tom Tom Club was just an expansion of Talking Heads. But Leslie, Tina Weymouth couldn't hold a candle to Yolanda. She got more miles on the clock. There's probably more people around the globe, bass playing wise, or of a musical, what's the word, into music, would know who Tina Weymouth is than they would know Yolanda. Sad but true. I bet if you went into, I don't know, go into a shop that sells basses and say Tina Weymouth, and people go, oh, Talking Heads, yeah, great, yeah, and then say Yolanda Charles, and they'll probably go, who? But that's not a slight on Yolanda. That's not what I'm saying at all. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, you meant Carol Kay. Right, got it. Tina Weymouth doesn't have the breadth of ability. I think you need to do a little bit more research, young man. Check out some Talking Head stuff. I mean, that's quite a gamut of stuff there. Bear in mind, Talking Heads was really a period of about 10 years, whereas you can go on a YouTube and look at Yolanda's output for the past 30. And I'm not really sure what Tina Weymouth has done since. I think after Talking Heads kind of sort of, I don't know if it's self-imploded or just sort of stopped working. I'm not sure what she's done musically since, but anyway, these are all points of conjecture. That's what this channel's all about. Machu Picchu. Oh, no, it's got to be a game. What's Machu Picchu? I've never heard that as a game on the Spectrum. No, so you've now got to suggest a Spectrum game that's linked to Inca Curse, either by publisher, title, or genre. I'm going to test your knowledge, Richard, because I'm quite a Spectrum aficionado. So, Neil Noble, for a dream team band, Mike Rutherford or Kim Deal? Oh, Mike Rutherford. Goes without saying. But that's, again, just my opinion. Just my opinion. Leslie, not talking about fame. I'm talking about variety of playing and technique. Yeah, but like I say, Tina Weymouth hasn't really done a huge amount that I'm aware of since Talking Heads stopped, whereas Yolanda has been, well, okay, here's the other part of this. Tina Weymouth was an essential component of the Talking Heads band. Yolanda, generally for most of her career, has been a side woman to artists and established bands, as opposed to being an original component of the band she's playing in, unless they're original projects of her own. She's a side woman, much like Dave Swift in Jules Holland's band. He's a side man. He's part of the Jules Holland project, but he's the side man when he's playing for all the other artists that are on Jules Holland. Similar thing. Let's see, I know Talking Heads and Tom Tom Club. Yeah, see, Tom Tom Club was like a side project, like Power Station was with Duran Duran. I just keep hitting this mic. Ship of Doom, Richard Fitton Perkins. Now we're talking, aren't we? Right, where am I going with this? Ship of Doom. Ooh. See, we've got to kind of veer out of the Sinclair manufacturer, so I'm trying to think. Ship of Doom. Ha. There you go. Neil, a very interesting chat about Tina and Yolanda. That's what this channel is all about. Great bass players. That's what we're talking. Here. Tina only got the job because David Byrne was her boyfriend. They didn't even have a bass player, couldn't even play it first. What's that got to do with the price of sugar? I think you'll find her name on the album credits, so doesn't matter. That doesn't matter a jot. Michael, you're back. Brilliant stream. Thank you very much. It is 4 minutes past 8 here on Brooks's Bass Corner. It's live chat 149. 149. And if you count up all the impromptu live chats, we've probably broken the 200 mark. I should count all those up one week and get the figure correct. But yeah, come on in. We're talking bass guitars, bass effects, bass amps, bass gear, cleaning and maintenance. We're talking famous bass players. Richard and I are having a very peculiar game of word association based on ZX Spectrum games from the 80s. And it's all go. It's plenty of chat going on. So quite fabulous. Well done, gang. That is starred. That's done too. And that's done too. Excellent. You believe a side player is more versatile than most band players? Yeah, there's a degree of that. There is a degree of that, but then again, side players generally, unless you're Nathan East, don't get involved in the songwriting, don't get involved in the orchestration and arrangements of material. You come in, you play it, and you go. Or if it's a live thing, again, you turn up, you play, and you go. whereas players that are part of the project, part of the band, it's a different dynamic, of course. 149, you're in syndication. No. It's just a weekly exploration into the world of bass, Mike. That's what it is. You know a good number of pro bass players. Yeah, likewise. Likewise. But there we are. It's all good. It's all good. I'm just waiting because messages keep going so quick. I can't keep up on the chat window. Richard, Moonlight Madness. Oh, blimey. Oh, I need to check that. That's good Lord, I remember that. By Bubble Bus Software. Now. Yes. Fabulous. Great. Possibly in my top 3 games on the Spectrum. If you use Spectrum emulators or you've got one of the Spectrum machines, Starquake is essential. You don't agree that writing necessarily makes you a better bass player. Okay. It's all right. I think we're gonna agree to disagree here, so it's fine. It's fine. No problem. Joseph Planey, God, oh dear. Bye. There we go. Neil Noble, do I know of Paul Denman? Yes, Sade's bass player. Very tasteful. Very tasteful. A Music Man Stingray user of some years, decades. In fact, has he ever played anything else? I'm not sure. I'm not a huge Sade follower. I don't know. Leslie, Tina is just in a famous band. She couldn't do the Hans Zimmer stuff. Yeah, no, she probably couldn't. Michael Anthony, curious, what would you say is your primary platform for your stream? I realise I'm a dinosaur for watching YouTube. I've put all my eggs in my basket over the past 12 months. I haven't been cultivating the Instagram platform because I was struggling to make it grow. Facebook, I tend to prefer using Facebook than Instagram when I've got stuff to post. I find Instagram, I'll tell you what really annoys me with Instagram is every day my followers number goes up and down like a tart straws. There's no reason for people to drop on or off because it's not like I'm over posting to annoy them and then they think, oh, I don't want all those posts. I haven't really posted on the Instagram stuff for a long time. But also I needed to plow my efforts into the YouTube platform because this is what I earn the money from. And there was also a thing at the start of last year where it was considered by a lot of the YouTube education channels that achieving a lot of views through other platforms coming into your YouTube video detracted when it came to the YouTube algorithm pushing your video out because external views were confusing it. I don't know if that's still the case or not. It might have just been a load of old guff. I don't know. But it might have been, it might not. So I just basically, I use Facebook for Brooks's Bass Corner when there's stuff that needs posting and I want it out quick. But the speed that the Facebook algorithm presents stuff to followers of the channel is so slow. I just don't put anything that's time sensitive up on there anymore, really. I do it all via the community post here on YouTube, which is much quicker. It's instant. And if people are following the channel, they get the alert. If you don't subscribe, you don't get those alerts. So again, that's a reason to subscribe to the channel. But regulars here know I just view the subscriber number as a vanity metric. You know, the most watched videos here on the channel don't even compare to the number of subscribers. And yet I know certain channels with huge numbers of subscribers, but their videos don't get anywhere near their subscriber number. So it's like, well, what's the point? The sooner, for me, the sooner YouTube does away with subscriber counts, I'll be a very happy man. I don't see any point in it anymore. You don't have to be subscribed to a channel to watch a video. So kind of what's the point? So yes, that's the answer to that, Mike. YouTube for me. It's where I'm focusing all my efforts at the moment. There was a thing about 6 weeks ago, I think it was on Think Media, and they said you are better off cultivating your YouTube channel and getting the wheels of motion and momentum on that working for you, and then go back to increasing your Instagram and, Facebook following. Zoomer, come on now, Neil. Paul D is amazing. Neil? Yeah, there we go. So I got the burps from a fizzy pop. Yes, Leslie, good debate. Well done. Good stuff. Michael Anthony, cool. Zoomer, Gaylan Dorsey. Well, could I forget? Yeah, but we did give her some airtime last week. We were talking extensively about her album last week. Wizard's Lair, okay. So I see your Wizard's Lair, and I raise you a Fire Lord. Neil Noble, Zoomer. Really, wow. I like Sade. I love music, but I'm no expert. I like bass players and find this chat interesting. It keeps coming back week after week. It's great. I like listening to technical talk, but I don't claim to be clever. That's sort of, likewise. I can only tell you what I know. Richard, damn, just spotted Taz too. Taz? Is Taz a game? Taz? I don't know what that is. What do you mean? Taz? By the way, anyone wondering, Wizard's Lair is nothing to do with Wizard's Sleeve. That's just a rude joke, all right? Wizard's Lair is a game on the Spectrum, a very fine game as well. But yeah, don't get the two confused. Whatever you do, it was yeah. We'll keep Commodore on a separate. That's another time. But yeah. Zoomer, so enlighten me. How is the editing going on last week's masterpiece? Where are we? Do I need to give you any more detail out of vidIQ, or are you good with everything I've sent you? I sent you quite a lot the other day, didn't I? It was about 10 screenshots. Might have been more, actually. Okay, you'll raise me a Minnesota Fats, Paul. What's that? It's got to be Paul Legend, right? Okay, on the Spectrum, was it? That's for no, Richard. It has to be a Spectrum-based game. It has to be Spectrum-based. Here we are. We're good. Right. It's not saying it was a Spectrum. Is it a Spectrum game? Let's have a look. It's saying I'm getting it in Google as Genesis. Oh, let's have a look. Let's see what platforms. It was for the Sega Genesis and Sega Saturn. There's no mention here of a Spectrum version. No, not in Google. Not in Google. It was only on Sega Genesis, Sega Saturn. Apparently. Allegedly. Neil Noble, thank you very much. There we go. It was Joe Rogan's died, is he? Or are you just spamming? I'm not sure what all that's about. Has he? Let's find out, shall we? I think you're just spamming. No, he ain't died. I think you're just spamming, mate. Bye, bye, bye. The fact you posted up like 5 messages, one after the other. Let's just quickly check everything's working. I hope it is. That's all good. And we're good on there. That's fine. And that's all working. So that's fine. And we want that. Let's just check the community tab. Occasionally we get messages during the live chat. So there he is. You know it. It's not updated. We'll just quickly check the stream health as well. That's fine. That's fine. Stream health is excellent. That's what we aim for. Good, good. Have the sound issues from earlier gone now, folks? I hope so. Michael Anthony, so shout for my bass case, my mono Vertigo. You were frustrated looking for a case that put the neck support where it made sense. The mono has a neck support that holds the neck like a mother holds her baby. There you go. Excellent. The Ice Temple. Oh, cripes. What's that? Yay. Ooh. Right. Okay. By Bubble, but you're on the Bubble Bus vibe, aren't you? Here. Let's see. Tom Prosser. What other games did he come out with? Oh, crikey. Okay. Ha. Okay. Well, that's easy then. I can go for that. Right, very good. Leslie, sorry, bro, not letting this go. Do you think Tina could play with any other than Mick Jagger? I'm not going to get into an argument with you. So, yeah, I mean, technically, Yolanda is a fine studio live side woman bass player. And she's had great exposure in her career. The artists she's worked with and has been outstanding. I wasn't going to start an argument over it. So, potential that I might have to interview her further down the line. I'm always wary when people are going for it in these sort of things because usually there's a vested interest which can come back and bite me if I then have to do an interview with that person further down the line. So at that point, Leslie, I'm out of the discussion. Sorry. Michael Anthony, it's a very rigid gig bag. Yeah, I know. I've got one. Got one for my my Alembics going a mono Vertigo. I would almost check it on a plane with your luggage. See, we don't have that luxury here. It doesn't happen. You can't take basses on planes anymore, not over here in the UK. Sound is 10 out of 10. Thank you. I think it was a StreamYard thing or a YouTube thing. It'll be one or the other, but glad it's all sorted. So, Leslie, and jump in tomorrow. Don't know what that means, Leslie. Sorry. Michael Anthony, sound is great. Good. Sounds rocking. Sound is all good. Fab. Joe Blade 3. Jump in tomorrow. Jump in tomorrow. I don't know. Don't know what you mean there. Renegade. Oh, here we go. Right, just bear with me a moment. We'll just see if we can get Mr. Fitton Perkins here. Let's try and throw you. Who's the publisher? go. It was with Imagine. It was with Imagine, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, I can go with that. There we go. Here we go. Mr. Detree, I saw your basses. They're sick. Are they what? Unwell? They got like a bucket. They go. I hope not. Thank you. I have no dog in the fight, fella. That's all right. That's all good. Timothy G, do some voice impressions. Oh dear. We're talking basses, bass guitars, mate. If you want to talk basses and bass guitars, you're welcome. If you're coming on here to be daft, I'll just bomb you out. So make the next sentence a good one. Mr. Tree, currently saving up for a Tobias bass. There were a couple of nice ones from 80s. Now, where did I see those? Might have been the gallery. I think it might have been the gallery. There were a couple up for sale literally in the last 5 or 6 weeks. Like there was an 87 and an 88. Was it Bass Brothers? Can't remember. A fine choice. Leslie, only biased about Arsenal. Okay. Oh, actually, let's just check on that, shall we? I don't know what the score is currently. Let's just have a little look, shall we? 0-0. Oh my God. Blimey, wasn't expecting that. That's going to throw the cat amongst the pigeons. Wowzers. What happened? Maybe you were following it. Obviously, I haven't been because I've been doing this live chat. But did Arsenal look a bit toothless up front? I don't know if you were watching it. Right, let's have a look here. Oh, crikey, it's all gone mental. There we go. Neil, which bass company is the Rolls Royce of bass, the absolute number one? I would say, and I know some of their basses don't work for certain players, certain people. It's fine. I get it. I still hold Alembic as the Rolls Royce. Not based on the price, although the price is ridiculous, but I just think the quality of craftsmanship, and they've maintained their level for so long. And other bass companies have come along. I mean, some people say Federa, some people might say Spectre, some people might. We can all say a different company. But I just think that level of quality, and for it to be consistent over so long, I would put them. There's no absolute, because a lot of people pick up an Alembic and go, ugh, don't like that, can't play that, don't like the sound, don't like the way it feels. They're idiosyncratic. Every single one you play is different. But that's my shout. Other people might have other views on that. Stacy, not the channel for those. No, quite. Mr. Tree, cool. Okay. How much is that Tobias? Depends which one you're looking for, I guess. Les, no dog in the fight. Saying Cantina jump into any band and play 24 hours notice. I don't think she could. Like I say, I'm not getting involved in a discussion about Yolanda that goes further than we've gone. Because like I say, I might have to interview her, and it's very easy for people to misconstrue things that might be said, and then it causes me a problem further down the line. So I say, at that point, I butt out. Mr. Tree, I'm looking at either getting the new 2025 Tobias or something older. The older ones are going to cost a pretty penny, but they are quite fab. We'll see when the time comes. Very good. Full time. Very disappointed. Away at Forest. What happened? Did it just contentious decisions? Maybe, I don't know. I won't see until match of the day later on. 2025 one is around 2,200. That's around reasonable. I've not played any of those new Tobias reissues, so I couldn't possibly. You're going with Arcadia, Richard. Right, okay. I think you're going to have to go with the developer to get out of that one. Leslie Forrest Keeper man of the match. Oh, that says everything then. Zuma Federa Alembic Ritter. Yes. Well, yeah. I've played quite a few Ritters, and they are what you think they are in terms of materials and construction. And no. I've played 4. I think I reviewed 2. There was nothing in that sound on any of them that would make me say, I'd love to own that. They were lovely to play, and the finishes and the exotica about them, fabulous. But I wouldn't put them in the same bracket as Alembic. I know, I mean, price-wise, they're definitely there. But I just think that there are things about Alembic basses that make my jaw hit the ground. I couldn't say that about a Ritter. Not that I've played. Neil Noble, Alembic. Wow, interesting. What would you say, Neil? Because I know you're sort of garnering our knowledge and learning as you're going. What would you say is the Rolls Royce? Kyan, you need any mods? I'm mod on few people, so I am experienced. Mods? What do I want a mod for? I don't know what you're implying, Kyan. Mr. Tree, Alembic, they are legendary. Mark King and Stanley Clark, and I think Lewis Johnson did play well. Michael Anthony, I've never touched a bass that cost more than 2.8. That was a Spectre, an octave for your Lakeland, which cost 18. I'm afraid of trying a boutique bass that cost... No, it's worth trying these things, because sometimes you'll play them and think, I don't see where the $4,000 is going. And it's a good thing. I mean, when we used to do review days at some of the bass emporiums, and there are things with hefty price tags. Like, there was one I played, it was like $8,000, and I remember looking at it going, I cannot hear, feel, or see where that $8,000's going. Yes, it's all very nice, but there's nothing in the sonics of it that's exciting me, would make me want to play it. But some people are willing to... there was a definite thing from about 2010 through to about 2015, 2016, where everyone wanted Federas constantly. You had people at the bass schools, 18, 19-year-olds, either wanting Federas or buying Federas. And then there was a glut in the second half of the 2010s of Federas going up for sale secondhand, where people were buying them, realizing they probably weren't the greatest bass they were ever going to have, and realizing they could probably do something better with that money. But I remember doing loads of gigs in town, and you get like young 20-year-olds with a Federa in a gig bag, but they couldn't play. It was like, well, it's all fine and good having something of that ilk, but if you can't actually play, it's kind of in the wrong hands, but it's a lot of money in the wrong hands. So then you kind of think, well, maybe a £1,000 bass instead of a £6,000 custom might do you better. But each to their own. You know, if people want to spend that money and they've got it, you go right ahead. But yeah. But no, Mike, go and try some £4,000 plus basses, and you might be surprised not how bad some of them are, but that they don't necessarily push all your buttons. And that's where custom builds come in, because if you're going to go down the route of a custom build, you need to know what you want before you go into the process. And even then, you can be constantly at the luthier's door, and it still might not come out the way you think or the way you want. You're afraid it would ruin you for others. No, it's experience, isn't it? You can't... It's hard to have an opinion on something if you haven't played it, which is why when people say on here, what do you think of this or what do you think of that? If I haven't played it, I'll tell you I haven't played one. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. Which is where writing for magazines was always a good thing, because stuff came through at such a rate. And invariably, if I had, like when we used to get newer Stingrays and stuff from Music Man, and then they started doing 2 pickup versions, the custom, the anniversaries, and I had older versions that I could compare and contrast with. so I can give a reasonable opinion on something. Say, well, the 2 pickup one sounds good, but it sounds better when it's just the one. You know, the additional pickup doesn't necessarily help that bass. So all those sort of things. Leslie, can't see past anything that doesn't have Fender. Ah, oh well. Not tripping you up, but fair enough. Right, okay. Each to their own. Everyone has an opinion. So there's so many messages. It's great. I'm good for now. Zuma, I'm hoping to have something for you to look at tomorrow. Okay. I won't be able to respond to it until I get home tomorrow evening from Mum's birthday. So just bear with me tomorrow. And as soon as I can get, well, it might be while I'm there I can have a watch, but I won't be able to do too much because we'll be in party mode. Neil, I'm intrigued you both say Alembic, Federa and Ritter also. Interesting. Well, what were you going to suggest? What's your take? What would you think? Mr. Tree, the 2025 reissue Tobias, or rather decent instruments, yes. Played the classic a couple of times before and I loved it, but yes, the older Tobiases are definitely a pretty penny. Yeah. Would love to play one someday? They do turn up occasionally. The thing is, they weren't made in huge numbers. They really weren't. And people who have them tend to keep hold of them, so you don't get an opportunity to buy them very often. Richard, wacky waiters. Cripes. Let's see what we got here. Says it's not a... Oh, sorry, I'm on a Spectrum forum. It says there is no game. I do remember a game called that. That was Vic 20 or Commodore. Oh, no, Spectrum. Hang on. Whoa. No, there was a Spectrum version, wasn't there? Yes, there was. 1981? Oh, on the Vic 20. Right. Okay. Oh, well, I mean, if we're on there, then that's easy. There you go. I think he was offering to be a moderator. Well, you can keep offering because he won't be. Leslie, I live around the corner from Andrew Cumming. Yeah, right. Anaconda in North London. How do you rate them? Love Anacondas. Love them. He's the cousin of Dave Ital, and he's also the cousin of Margarita Taylor, the DJ and presenter. Yeah, love Anacondas. I've contemplated buying several of his instruments on several occasions, and I wanted to buy one of the Essences, but I've already got so many jazz bass and super jazz basses. I really don't need another one, and I'd be buying it just to have an Anaconda. So that's the situation. But I love Andrew's work. It's quite fabulous. Very good. Great customer service as well. That's wicked. I wouldn't be caught dead playing a Federa bass unless I was given one. I suspect with that outlook you won't be given one. But always try them. I will say, and I'll put it on record, and I put it in the review when I wrote it, the best Federa bass I've played was the cheapest one I've played. At the bass, at Bass Direct in 2018, I think was it an Emperor? It was the cheapest one. It was about $4,000, and it felt and played and sounded like the best Federa I'd played. But there we go. Neil, I chose Alembic. Phil Lesh, John Entwistle, Mike Rutherford. Good enough for me. I like the look of them too. Never heard of Alembic before this channel. Right, let me just give you a little video here. This is like a reference point for me whenever I'm thinking, why do I like Alembics? Right, just bear with me a moment. I'll just let you have a little listen to this. Two seconds. I've just got to search for it, and it tends to get embedded very deep into Mark King. Here we go. Mark King solo videos. So this is just a sound check. Loads of us who are level 42 Mark King fans, we all hark back to this because there isn't a lot of sound check footage, never has been. But this is why, a perfect example of why I like Alembics. All right, Neil, check this out. Leslie, I think bass are almost like old hi-fi systems, not really getting much past $5,000. You're joking, aren't you? You've seen the price of a new Alembic Series 2. You want to go and have a look at the price list. $46,000 without any added extras. Will McFingerdo, we haven't seen you for a while. Evening, people of the bass round. Good to see you. What about the Rolls Royce of bass amps? Well, for me, it's Aguilar. But I'm basing that on Aguilar before they were bought out by Korg. I've had nothing to do with Aguilar since they were taken over by Korg, aside from the fact that I had an endorsement deal through Barnes and Mullins here in the UK. And since Aguilar moved to Korg, Stacey, have you done a super chat for $35? Are you mad? But thank you. I'm supremely grateful. Thank you for $35, woman. She's done well on the shares this week, I swear. Thank you very much. Thank you. Goodness me. God, you've taken my breath away. I haven't had a $35 super chat in a very long time. Where was I? Yes, so Aguilar were taken over by Korg, and I've had no communication from Korg since, or Aguilar. And I dealt with Barnes and Mullins about a year ago regarding a faulty adapter for my tone hammer pedal. But other than that, nothing. Not a thing. So there's Stacey's super chat. Wowzers. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, so I've had nothing to do with Aguilar since. That doesn't mean I don't still have an endorsement, but to be honest, I'm really not using the amps that much these days. I'm so much of my work is on IEMs, but if things change, or the band I'm in wasn't around, or we weren't, or I moved projects or whatever, maybe all the amplification would come back out. But for me, the Rolls Royce, I still think the best bass amp is the DB751. I've not heard another amp change my mind. So until I hear one and think actually that is better, I couldn't say it was anything else. But I think the DB751, then take your pick of cabinets to get the tones you want. But I'm very happy with the SL212s. If I had someone doing all the lifting and I was doing a tour, I'd have 412s, DB412s probably. But for self-employed, you want amps and cabs, you've got to carry them. SL212s will do for me. Zoomer, VIC-20 sounds familiar, but I don't recall the Spectrum system. VIC-20s were the forerunner to Commodore 64s. Spectrum is the UK microcomputer that was in competition with Commodore 64s. Zoomer, you and I will have a chat about this. And in fact, it's another series that you and I can do. You can put up a Commodore 64 game, and I'll put up a Spectrum game. We can. I'll initiate you in the world of Spectrums. You'll love it. There's Stacey's super chat. $35. Thank you. I've bowled over. Leslie, no Dave Vitale, guitar player. Done loads of stuff. Works on a lot of same stuff that Yolanda would work on. A lot similar circuit of players. Winston Blissett, all those guys. Mr. Tree, I have a 97 Ken Smith burner, very nice. Also, Mark King is a legend, indeed. You see him locally at gigs on the Dave Vitale, yeah. Les, I meant that you don't get much extra once you pay $5,000. No, I wholeheartedly agree. The most I've ever paid for a bass is $3,500, which I paid last year for a Spectre NS2. Zuma, she's mad in the best possible way. Michael Anthony, 40. I can't believe them. $49.99 super chat. Folks, you're going to make me blush soon. Stop it. No, don't stop it. It's great. Thank you. I assume you like being on the live chats. Thank you so much. Yeah, bowled over. It's a tidal wave of super chats. Wowzers. Whew. Thank you. What can I say? Outstanding. Wow. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I'm a bit flabbergasted. That's taking my breath away. Thank you. Wow. Ooh. It's a heady night on Brooks's Space Corner. Live chat 149. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Thank you. Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's just throw me a complete curveball. Leslie, in terms of quality performance, yes. Yeah, I'd say round about 5K is about my level as well. I said last week, I think I've got all the bases I need, but then something turns up and you suddenly think, I really want that. So then do you sell some of the things you've got to get the thing you want? Are you going to use it? Are you buying it as an investment to sell at a later date? All those things. But no, I've not paid more than 3.5 for, that's the most expensive. But I do always say everything I've bought comes out in one way or another. Even if it hasn't been out for a while, there'll be a project I can use it on. I mean, recently I was taking the T-bass back out on some gigs. The Alembics come out. The Bootsy bass comes out. The Dingwall comes out. You know, I don't just take the same two basses all the time, unless it was, I was doing like when I did the bass string experiment and that was one bass with one set of strings. But wow, Michael Anthony, wowzers. Outstanding. Good work, sir. Stacey, I like the idea of you getting at least $20 after YouTube gets their take. Well, thank you. For those who don't know, so here on the YouTube platform, ad revenue, merchandise bought through the YouTube store, not bought through the links that are in the description box. When you use description box links, I get all the affiliate commission. When you buy through the merch, Richard Fitton Perkins, £20. Thank you very much. It's, wow. Thank you. Not to be left out of the currency party. Here are some pictures of the king. Thank you very much. What was I saying? I'll get back there in a second. What was I saying? Ah, about that. Right. Yes. So when you guys give me super chats and what have you, I get 55% of that. YouTube takes 45%. If you're paying in dollars or whatever, obviously there's then the conversion rate. Then YouTube takes 45% of that. That's the way it works. People, I think it was Russell Zorner says, I'd love to pay you some money, but I don't want YouTube to get the money. Unfortunately, it's my platform of choice. YouTube pays the most money out of all the platforms, regardless. Better than TikTok, better than Instagram, blah, 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 blah. This is the platform of choice. So until there's another platform that pays better, this is the home of Brooks's Bass Corner. But it's their rules. I have to go by they've set the rules. This is the rules you play by. If you don't want to play by their rules, you got to find another platform. So that's why I'm here. When you do a super chat payment or a super sticker, or you put money towards the channel via the platform, yes, we lose 45% of it, but it makes the algorithm go into turbo mode and the video gets pumped out. So the more live chats and the regular videos get when you do a super thanks, whenever you put money as a payment to the channel via any of the videos, that video then gets boosted through the algorithm. So that's how that works. So don't think, oh, well, he's losing out on 45% of the money. I am, but suddenly the video gets pushed out and it gets seen by more people. I see it in the analytics. That's how it works. While I'm at it, the Chris Childs video that I put the link up for earlier, which I will put up again, just bear with me a minute. Would you find people here on the live chat please go into that video and hype it. So there's a hype facility. You can hype a video up to 7 days after it was released. So it was released last Tuesday. If you can hype it, it can, there's no guarantees that it will, but it can promote the video through the algorithm faster. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you go to the icons underneath the video window when you're watching it, where you got the thumbs up, thumbs down, all of that stuff. If you go along and you run out of icons, there'll be 3 dots. Click on the dots. There should be a hype button. If you're watching on the mobile app, you'll see it in the row of icons underneath, and you can just slide those icons across. There'll be a hype button. Please press it on that Chris Childs video that I've just put the link up for again in the live chat. That's how all that works. Okay. Thank you, Stacey. Yeah, there we go. Oh, Cosmic Cruiser. Cripes. Goodness. Can't remember who made that. Let's have a little look. This will become a thing every week now, Richard. You do realise. Oh, we were sticking on there, are we? Who wrote that? Let's see who the author was. Ah, now him. I think he is. Yeah, exactly. There we go. Yeah, I was right. There you go, Richard. Right, Neil Noble, just watch the Mark King soundcheck video. How much does that bass cost? If you want... So that's from 1988. If you want that bass... So the way Alembic works is if you buy through one of their distributors or retailers as a customer, you are then eligible for various discounts, and they change all the time. Those discounts will radically drop the price that I'm about to quote you. So that bass is a Series 2 medium scale. There are loads of custom features on it, like LEDs, quilted tops, matching backwards, blah, 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 blah. The base model, when I say base model, I mean the bottom of the rung in that range. At the moment, I need to go and check. I think they dropped by $2,000. Let me just check. I remember checking it the other week and it had gone down, which I think is to do with the dollar thing. Price. Where's the price thing? Price list. Here we go. So you want a Series 2 Alembic. It did drop. So 4-string Series 2, no extras, base model, $41,300. Start saving. But like I say, if you buy through a distributor or a retailer, there are various discounts that they can apply. Marcus Bell at Bass Direct was trying to get a complete replica of Mark King's quilted maple, which he got again in 88. The purchase price, because he didn't go through with the full sale, because when it came to pay for the final payments, for whatever reason, I think he couldn't afford it. And things were going on in his life. Anyway, Bass Direct picked up the tab, and that bass, I think, sold, I could be wrong here, I think it sold for between 15 and 18,000. I can't remember. Someone who knows the price, I think it was between that. But it had huge amounts of discounts because he'd been able to do it because he'd done it through Bass Direct as a retailer. But yeah, I think it was between about 15 and 18,000. Now, to buy a second-hand Series 2 without all the extras, but just a Series 2 in the UK, you're not going to get any change out of about 15k second-hand. Brand new, 41.3? 41.3 at the current time on the 17th of January 2026. The current base price of a Series 2 Alembic from Alembic is $41,300. And you don't get many of them to the pound. Right, Michael Anthony, not trying to show you up, Stacey. The thing clicked back and forth between $19.99 and $49.99. Can't you? Isn't there a custom option for that? I'm not complaining, Mike, so thank you very much. I do appreciate it. You were going to match Stacey. Very good. She just figured out how to customize it. Oh, there you go. Just type in the amount you want to do. Oh, maybe you got to go over and highlight it and then type it in. I don't know. Richard, who was saying that they only played Fenders? It was Leslie. Always hated Fenders as I grew up playing State Spaces. Now I own lots of Fenders as well. They are an industry standard in a lot of ways. That's the truth. Neil Noble, much deserved super chats. Well, thank you very much. Zuma, if this keeps up, you'll be able to purchase the entire keg. Yeah. Yes. There's Richard's one. Fabulous. Not to be left out. Thank you very much. Beat after beat, you're a good friend and teacher. I try my best. I try my best. I just try to impart what's up there out to you folks. And on that note, got to say, this week is that first anniversary, isn't it? It's that. I knew it was coming up. It's on the horizon. 21st of January. So where are we? That will be Wednesday. Will be the first anniversary of Nick Smith's passing. I knew we were getting close. That's why I tried to get as much that's in there out onto the channel to you guys. I haven't done a good enough job of it over the past year. I was going to pick up Nick's mantle and do a video every day as a short with a bit of playing, and I haven't done it, and I still haven't started it this year. I will get onto that. I will get onto that. He used to do a video almost every day on his Facebook page. I will get into that. So, yes, it's that first anniversary. So, thoughts, love, and best wishes going out to Nick's family this week. I thought this was an auction for Brooks's Alembic. No. They're going nowhere. All three of them, they're staying here. Don't worry about that. Zuma, most I've paid is $2,800 for your JT Dingwall. That's a nice bass, though. That one on your early 90s Stingray, the only ones I've purchased brand new. I get the bulk of mine are second hand. I can't even remember the last bass I bought was brand new. What would that have been? That's a good question, actually. Now, there's some I've bought that looked like they had never been played. I think the last bass I bought that was totally brand new was... It was the Betsy, wasn't it? It was the Betsy. Yeah, Betsy. September 2019. There we go. Leslie, last time I spoke to Ernie McComb when he was playing with Dexter Wanzel, his MD told me he's taking a Sklar out now instead of his blonde jazz these days. But it depends on what the Sklar is. Is it an 80s JV? If it was, some Squires are just fab. So, but it's a luck of a draw thing with Squire. As I've said, you can have 10 of the same Squire bass from the same range, and probably 2 are great, 5 or 6 are all right, and there'll be 2 or 3 are absolutely awful. So luck of the draw. But if you get a good one, they can be really, really good. Will purchase some Monty Guitars P-Bass pickups this week. They get a big thumbs up from me. Can honestly say they are incredible. Don't I know it? Highly recommended. Agreed. Stacey, Richard, some pictures of the King. Hey, I've missed that. Wallenberg, hey, how do you feel about the album Voyage of the Acolyte? Probably your favourite album of all time. I can't remember who's that by. I will quickly check. Just bear with me. Who's that by? Steve Hackett. I've never heard it. Sorry, that's my own failing now. I've never heard it. Never listened to it. Sorry, I don't have a copy of it. Never heard it. Catch a Snatcher. You're picking the vague ones here, aren't you? Right. I've never played Cosmic Cruiser. We need to get off the Imagine vibe there, don't we? What's that? Catch a Snatcher. Blimey, you are going old school there, Richard. Jeepers creepers. Right, very good. Well, we're back on there, aren't we? Right. Oh, helps if you type properly, Mike. we go. Thank you very much. We just search on that. Here we are. Yeah. Here we are. Right. Michael, got a bounce. Go ahead with your wife. Fabulous stream, Brooks. Thank you very much. Peace, love, and funk. Everyone, see you soon. Thank you for that super chat. Bless your heart. Super stuff. Well done, Mike. Speak to you soon. Richard, Stacey was talking about your comment on the super chat. Yeah, I don't pictures of the king. I don't know what that meant. Leslie, I think even if I were a millionaire, I would probably not buy a new factory-made electric bass. Again, each to their own. Some people just aren't interested in that. I get great value out of buying second-hand instruments, I have to say. But occasionally, something comes out or a manufacturer produces something, and it's like, well, the only way you're going to get one at that time is to buy it new. So that's yeah. Pictures of the king, money. Oh, got you. Right, cash. Thank you very much. Well played, sir. Right, that's all good. That's fine. That's working. Any new subscribers? We had 2 earlier. Have we got any more? We got another 2. We've had 4 while we've been on here. Thank you very much. If you're a new subscriber, welcome. Good to have you on board. Welcome. Get on the bus. Hopefully you'll find some bass content on here that you enjoy. There we go. I see you, Mr. Detree, posted on my community tab. Very good. That's fine. That's done. That's how we're doing there. That's all good. That's looking good. Yeah, that's good. That one's fine. Right, stream health. How are we looking? It's all good, isn't it? It is. It's all good. It's all good. Right, here we are. Right, all good. It's 2 minutes to 9. We've been doing 3 hours. I can't believe it. Old Tempest. Now we're picking a favourite of mine, Richard. Played many. I've put many a 10p in a Tempest machine, I can tell you. Yeah. Oh, that's a bit obvious, but I'll go with it anyway. Tempest, yes. There's Stacey's up for that. Gallagher, yeah. Well, we all like a bit of Gallagher. That's right. I can still have I can spend a good half an hour on a Galaxian. Don't worry about that. We've kind of ventured off of bass and we've gone into video games, but it's fine. It's all good. We're amongst friends. It's all fine. Berserk, your favourite game, that is. Still haven't got round to buying that green T-shirt with the Berserk Atari cartridge cover. Got to do that. Got to do that. That's all good. That's Convo's ebb and float. Correct. Exactly that. Pitfall. Well, then you're picking a favourite of mine. And I'll raise your Pitfall too. So, Aliens was great. Aliens was great. Oh, well, if we're talking that manufacturer, I can go with that. Okay, it is 9 o'clock. We'll do another 5-10 minutes and then we'll wind down. because I've got presents to wrap and cards to write and stuff to prepare for tomorrow, and got to cook my dinner and everything else. But thank you very much for a superb live chat tonight. It's been quite magnificent. Well done, folks. Leslie, would you say Dingwall, Warwick, Rickenbacker are predominant rock basses? Not Warwick's. Warwick's, through their whole life, they were really part of the hip hop thing as well in the 90s. And the Soul Brother Brigade here in the UK were well into Warwick's. Although quite a lot of that was to do with mad distribution. They were putting them in the hands of the players that were on TV a lot and doing the big sessions, like, what was that guy? Not Freddie Washington. There was a UK guy, Freddie Thompson. He used to do all the stuff like Eternal and Louise, and I don't think he did Sholarama, but those sort of artists. Rickenbacker, yeah, rock bass, indie bass, that kind of thing. Dingwall, yeah, they would be classed as rock basses, although I'd love to see them in more soul and funk stuff, but they are, because a lot of the technical metalheads were the early adopters of the Dingwall, especially the Chinese models like the Combustion NG2s, NG3s now, of course. But I think over time, you might see the Dingwall brand spread out into more musical genres, I think. If a funk player took one on and really did big things with it, I think that would sort of change the balance. But I would say up to this point, yes, the bass playing public perception is that Dingwall is a rock bass instrument more than anything else. Beat after beat, your favourite game was Stargate Defender. Wowzers. I remember that. Blessings. Good to see you. Give my mum the best. I will. 70 tomorrow. She keeps saying to me, I don't know where 70 years are gone. I said, well, we better start working it out, because that's where we're at. So Eye of the Mask, loved Eye of the Mask. Loved it. Played it incessantly. That takes me back to a period when my cousins lived in the other side of Kingston, and I'd moved down from Scotland to London, and they were at a school where it was an all-boys school, I think, as I was at an all-boys school, and they would get games literally every week. Like, there was 10 of them, and they would all buy a game and then all copy. The copying was a big thing then. And I'd say to my cousin, oh, you're coming over this weekend? Yeah, I'll come over. And he'd bring literally 10 new games every week. It was like crazy. And the Eye of the Mask was one of a clutch with Critical Mass, Monty on the Run, Starquake, Eye of the Mask, Fairlight, School Days. Do you know what? There's a box. In fact, let me just get the box. Just hold on, right? This is weird. So I've got a box over there of the C90 tapes that I had copied games on. And some of them have still got the old inlays. So literally, as you got a new game, that would go on the latest tape until you filled that tape up. I bet in that box, I've probably got that cassette with that inlay from that period. I won't get it. It'll cause too much mess. But yeah. Yeah. Wild times. I bought plenty of games. I used to go to the micro fairs up near Victoria, and I used to buy all my games up there. You kind of give it like 3 months after a game had come out. You go to the micro fair, it was half price. And that kind of worked for me. Zuma, I'd be there, but your transport is still out of order. I suggest you need to call the engineer. Hey, that damn Heisenberg compensator. Quite. Exactly that. So what's coming up on the channel this week? So get tomorrow done and dusted. Monday will be the first of the bass reviews. So thank you to people who've still been voting on that post on the community tab. I think it's had about 120 odd votes, which is great. It's obscene. So the Alembic is in front at the moment, ahead of the Spectre. So I will start getting those up Monday, Tuesday. There's a couple of other videos that I've been working on. I I've got in my mind that it was going to be a demo and then there was another video, and I can't remember what that other video is, so I need to go back, look at my schedule. I've also got a new series that I've literally not stumbled on. It's been on my whiteboard for best part of a year, and suddenly I've found a way that I think I can do it, and do it quite quick in terms of production, getting the videos out there. So I'm going to spend some time tomorrow evening when I come back from my folks, just seeing if I can put that idea in place and batch film and batch produce. And if I can, then I can ping those videos out really quick. So we'll see. So there's all the stuff I was talking about last weekend. Now the Chris Childs video is up and out. That's kind of opened the floodgates so I can get the demos out over the next couple of days. Didn't want to do it over the weekend because generally views at the weekend for long form content aren't that great. But also tomorrow, it's kind of fenced off. Tomorrow had to get sorted. So after tomorrow, there's time now to go bang, 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 bang. So knocking the videos out really quick. Zumo, so you were playing Fairlight before Nick Rhodes? No, after. About the same time. Fairlight was a game that came out in October 85. And it broke all the barriers on the Spectrum at the time. I say broke all the barriers. It was still isometric perspective like Night Law, which started that, and Attack, of course, before someone goes, and Attack was first. But Fairlight went into graphical detail and kind of took Night Law and sort of super boosted it a bit. But yeah, Richard used to buy the magazines. Likewise, I still think of Crash, your Sinclair user, created that mind to become a bass journalist. I used to read all the Crash reviews, and I'd hang on their word, and I just liked the journalism that was in that. So as a young kid, I had those. I had smash hits for the music and stuff, and that was kind of what you followed. So, yeah. Used to buy the magazines, program into the Spectrum line by line. Saving them onto cassette tape was precarious to say the least. And half the time they didn't work. And then you had to go back and see where the error was. And it still didn't work. And in the end, you realise after you've done 4 or 5 of these and they don't work, that it's like, I'm not going to bother with that anymore. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. All of that. Fun and games of youth, hey. Anyway, it is coming up to 9:10. I would love to carry on, but I've got literally 100 things to do before I get to bed and out the door tomorrow. So on that note, folks, it's been quite magnificent. What a super live chat. Maybe we should move the live chats to Saturday, but that won't work because by the time gigs start kicking in the spring, I'd have to change the day again. But Saturday night, who knew? Who knew? Maybe I should do Saturday nights and Sundays while the gigs are light. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe impromptus on Saturday. How about that? Could be a thing. Noted for future reference. So on that note, guys and girls, thank you. Fabulous. Thank you to all the people for the super chats, all the regulars. Lovely, fine, fabulous people. Leslie, have a good evening. Thank you for the debate. Much enjoyed that. Good stuff. So thank you, everyone, for watching. It's been a blast. New content up this week. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you all the thumbs ups, the likes, the comments, the shares. We hit 1.3 million viewers, not viewers, what am I talking about? Views on the channel content about 3 days ago. So we're blasting towards 2 million as far as I'm concerned. So it's all good. I will pass on your good wishes to my mum tomorrow. So new content up Monday. It won't be day by day because you have to give the videos time to breathe, do their thing in the analytics, but the demos will be going up. We're all waiting for Saturday gigs to start. Don't I know it? Seems a long way off at the moment, but there we go. It is what it is. So yes, new videos up from Monday. Keep watching the channel. Keep posting. If you're watching the live chat after the event, please give it a thumbs up. Thumbs ups are great for all the video content here on the channel. Without the thumbs up, the algorithm doesn't really kick in on these videos, so it's all good. So that's cool. Great show. Thank you very much. So as we wind down, I'm going to put in, there's going to be a link. Move your fingers that way, Mike. So it's on. Yeah, there we go. There'll be an image thumbnail come up there. It's going to be the thumbnail for the interviews playlist. So we've been Zuma, thank you very much for the $5. That's for Mum. I tell you what, I'll buy her a little something with that. Thank you. I'm going to put up the thumbnail for the interviews playlist, so going in there. All the interviews I've done that are here on the channel. There's a load of vintage stuff to come up. You might be watching this in 10 years time. You click on that list, there'll be loads of other stuff in there. There's Billy Sheehan in there, Larry Graham, Lee Sklar, Mark King, John Taylor, Doug Wimbish, Chris Squire, Glenn Hughes, Paul Turner. Lots of Billy Sheehans actually in there. Yeah, and more to come. So on that note, guys, have a great week. I will see you next Sunday, but I think we might do a few impromptu chats on the Saturdays as well. So keep watching, enjoy the content, new stuff up from Monday. I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Have a good week.